here is big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hanson. I'm joined here by the Tuckster, Dave Tuckman, fresh off of a couple of performances on Live at the Bike.
Yep,
last night's Wednesday night performance. I'm sure that you'll discuss that in detail as we move through the show. Tonight we're going to be doing a 5-10 unrestricted buy-in, no limit hold'em game. The minimum buy-in for this game is $500, and there is no maximum buy-in. So it can get pretty big. Not as big as the 10-20 game, but still pretty big.
Yeah, no, I was actually playing in it for about an hour and a half before the show, and we got some good characters in the game as we speak.
Did you grow a couple inches on it, Dave?
I might have, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm playing the bigger games, I'm actually bigger.
Oh, I see.
I've actually grown since then.
Come up like this. There we go. Well, without further ado, let's get to it. Let's get to the action.
Let's do that, okay.
And we will get around and introduce the table.
Yeah, in seat one, we've got Sinjin. And interesting player. I actually played after the 25-50 game last night broke up. I jumped into a $500 game and played with him last night. He's a solid player, former military guy. Seat two, we've got Philly Al Barberi, former professional baseball player. Seat three, we've got Tony. Tony's pretty tight. Tight Tony. Seat four, we've got Kevin Yang. Is that Kevin Yang? I'm not sure. Kevin Yang. There we go. Kevin's a pretty solid player, pretty ABC. And there's Tony. Tony's Italian Tony here. He's just here to have a good time.
That's right.
He's pretty much a calling station and has no problem saying it, He's here to just have fun. Seat six, we've got Ernesto Medina. And there we go. He's in a Virgin. Live at the Bike Virgin here. I'll let him pop his cherry tonight. Seat seven, we've got Ali Yadi. And Ali, really nice guy. Pretty solid, pretty ABC. If he's in there, he's usually got it. Seat eight, we've got Mo. And in this game, it should be action Mo. Sometimes he's not the action player in the big games, but in the smaller games, he can be. And in seat nine, we've got Kenny Wynn. And he's pretty much the antithesis of action.
That's right. He's a pretty...
Yeah, real solid player, though.
Pretty tight player.
Yeah,
well, let's
solid.
get into the first hand.
Let's do it.
Seat one raised here with 6-7 offsuit. Sinjin and Philly Al called with pocket deuces, and Sinjin has outflopped him.
And he's going to continue with it.
He'll bet 125 here.
It's not a bad flop for Philly Al. And
he's going to move all in. Philly Al is going to move all in over the top with pocket deuces, and we'll see how much it is here.
What happened to his chips? Philly Al, I swear to God, 45 minutes ago I was in the game. Philly Al had 1,500 chips.
Well, it's only 400 more here. Sinjin bet 150. Philly Al's got... I think he's pushed in for a total of 400, actually. So it's only about 300 more to call here. And the pot size, Dave, is probably, if Sinjin, say, raised to, maybe 40 pre-flop, so the pot was about 100 pre-flop. He's going to make the call here.
Well, what do you put him on? If he has a 9, why is Philly Al pushing so hard? They're almost playing like a flush draw.
Well, here we go to the turn. Turn is an ace. Philly Al does have a flush draw now with his deuce of clubs. And the river is a 10, though. He does not get there. And Sinjin is going to take it down there with 6-7. So, again, the pot size, Dave, Sinjin bets 150. The pot's 250. Now Philly Al's going to move all in for 450 total. It's a $700 pot of another 300 to call.
Right.
Getting about 2.5 to 1 on your money.
You
and I might push in with a 9, but a lot of players don't.
Yeah, well, there are a lot. You can easily put the guy on a flush draw there, overcards, so forth. It was funny too. Philly Al just won a big pot, and Sinjin leaned over to him and goes, "Man, you're a lot better in this game than you are in the $200 game." And I guess that was the kiss of death.
Well, obviously you could put him on a smaller pocket pair as well, right?
Yeah.
Pocket threes, pocket deuces, pocket
in the end, it was only $400 more, and sometimes money speaks. If it was $4,000 more, probably gets him off the hand.
Right. So, obviously, Dave, I'm sure you're going to talk at will throughout the night about last night's performance. We're not going to talk much about Tuesdays because you already addressed
Well, I'll mention
the fact.
it. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it, but
We're not
it's
going to
interesting.
mention any hands because it was
Yeah.
basically you just kind of screwing around, right?
Right.
Three-way action here. It's limped around.
Interesting flop here. Flush
Yeah.
draw here for Kenny Wynn and a pair.
And a pair.
Yeah.
And look at this. It gets checked to Tony, and Tony is going to bet here with nothing. He bets $20. He's got a gut shot to the 4. Ali folds middle pair. You can see how tight Ali is over there in seat 7. And let's see what Kenny is going to do. His hand is really big enough to check raise here. And he is going to check raise.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, Kenny's a real solid player. I got to tell you, if there's a player at this table that might be worthy of giving some Mo and Asmat, I can't even speak tonight. If there's a player at the
Giving
table,
him a run for his money.
Thank you
in
very
terms of
much.
play.
it's Kenny Wynn.
Tony's going to call here. He needs an offsuit 4, Dave. He's drawing to 3 outs. Here we go to the turn. The turn is an offsuit 10. Kenny Wynn is still in the lead, but he still now has third pair only.
Yeah,
But it looks
now
like he's going to fire again. He's going to bet 115 here.
Yeah, and this is pretty much where Tony's going to back out of this
Yeah.
one. Even Tony.
The great thing about Tony, you had said, you were talking to me before the show started tonight, is against a player like Tony, and sometimes against a player like Ed, although Ed has changed his game up a little bit over the last few weeks, they're calling stations, and say you bet with middle pair or top pair, and then you don't like the turn card, you can just check, and they'll just basically just check it down, and
Yeah.
if they don't make their draw, you'll just win. Now, Ed actually has started making some moves.
Oh, it looks like this table was the $1 million table.
Oh,
Look at
$1
that.
million promotion. And they're going to cut Dave basically to see who's get the hard card, who would get the table share winnings, the big table share.
Right, somebody gets $500,000. The second
Yeah.
card gets
Yeah.
$250,000.
We have a $1 million drawing that's done every Monday, first Monday of every month, and lucky tables are picked throughout the day, I think a few times a day. And if your table is picked, you basically cut a card to see what percentage of table share you get. If you get the highest card, it's like you have the biggest part of the table share.
Right.
So that's how they do it. And, that's
And then pretty much you've got about a 1 in a. If your table gets picked, you pretty much have about a 1 in 100 chance of getting the $1 million. But
everyone
hey,
else gets
it's free.
25,000.
Right.
Broken up.
7
But,
players, yeah.
Again, Ed, though, he's changed his game up because he's made some moves. Sometimes if you check it to him, he's not going to necessarily just check it down.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, I actually watched last night's show, and
Yeah.
Ed's play wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, especially for Ed.
Right.
You know.
And of course, the reason why you were able to watch last night's show is because we rerun every show now all the way up until 4 o'clock Pacific time the next day, starting at 1 Pacific, 10 p.m. Pacific time, 1 a.m. Eastern. We start the rerun, and it runs on a loop until 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, I actually watched it on the archives because I'm an archive subscriber.
And the archives are up almost immediately now.
Almost
as well.
immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it only cost me $14.95 a month. It's such a
Right.
great investment.
This pot was limped around, and the flop got checked around.
Check out, and nobody has a queen here. I want to say the best hand is Kenny Wynn with 9-8, right?
Looks that way, and it just got checked down. Of course, if you want to follow a live thread that's started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums, World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments. Official Live the Bike thread for December 15th. You can also email us at live@thebike.com. So, there you go.
And just a little update for last night's show. I actually finished down about $600 last night.
Could have been worse, could have been better, right?
Without a doubt. It was
That's
a
pretty
great
much
learning experience.
breaking even in a 25-15 to limit game. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I probably could have played it a little stronger at times.
so the newbie here, seat 6, he's going to raise to 45. He's got pocket 4s. Now, Kevin over there in seat 3, actually that is, yeah.
That's
is that
Kevin now, yeah.
He's got ace-jack suited. He's going to make the call. And Tony, Italian Tony's got a deuce-3 off suit. He folds.
We'll go heads up here.
King-7, king here. Not a bad flop for pocket 4s. Let's see if
No, it's a
Ernesto
paired
continues.
board here. And he's in position.
And he's going to
But
bet.
it's really a terrible flop for ace-jack there.
He's going to bet 65, and Kevin's going to fold. And we have a new player coming into seat number 4. His name is Jacob.
And I know Jacob really well.
Now, has he ever played on the show before?
He's played once before, but I've played with him numerous times. Really, really nice guy. I mean, super nice guy. But you won't find a bigger fish anywhere.
Really?
Oh, man. Oh, well, that's too bad. And the one thing about Jacob, I'll just say, I mean, he's a super nice guy. He actually asked me to give him lessons.
Really?
Yeah.
Tony is going to raise it up here to 20. And Seat 9's going to call with King-Queen offsuit. And we've got four-way action here. 6 deuce 3, and Tony's got a flush draw over here with 8-10 of hearts.
I mean, nobody else has got anything. If Tony fires this, he'll probably take it down.
It looks like he is going to bet here.
Yeah, I can't see anybody calling him.
He bets 80.
Kenny's not the type of player that goes for overcards. And
St. John's got a gut shot there to the 4. Backdoor diamonds.
Yeah.
Will be pretty obvious if the 4 comes, though, Dave.
It's interesting. I've been watching St. John's game because it was funny. The first time he was on the show that I saw, you said he was a real action player.
Yeah.
And we watched him, and I got to tell you, I really like St. John's game. I'm really curious to see how he plays tonight. He told me that he honestly actually said, he goes, I always play like crap on Live at the Bike, though. Because I don't know what happens when the cameras get on me, though.
Oh, not intentionally, he just does
he just said
it.
the cameras and the lights, he goes, it makes my head screwy.
So somebody's coming over into seat 4. I guess it's not Jacob.
Yeah, we'll find out who it's going to be, actually.
Yeah.
Once again, we are live at the Bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman, fresh off the tables, back in the booth with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em tonight. Blinds are 5 and 10.
Bot is limped around here. 5-way action going to the flop. Queen 10-3, and it looks like we've got Jack 9 of hearts over there.
What a flop for Jack 9 there, huh?
Mo. And Mo's going to bet 75. He's got an open-ended straight draw and a flush draw.
If somebody were to move on him, and I don't think anybody can on this board, this is a big enough hand where he would actually fire right back.
Well, wow, look how tight Ernesto is. I mean, he was kind of in late position there. Just check fold there with middle pair. Mo could have been, making a position bet there. Obviously, we can see that he wasn't. But, this table is going to be kind of tight, I think, which doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be interesting to watch, but I'm sure that players will have to make the adjustment.
Yeah. And you can learn a lot from any kind of table.
Now, Dave.
Yes.
About last night.
Yes.
Shirley, I think, was a little bit harder on you than I was. You watched the show.
Yeah, I did.
But I have to be honest with you, it did kind of look like that you weren't 100% comfortable with the level that you were playing at last night.
Well, I think it's an accurate statement. I mean, I definitely was not 100% comfortable.
Uh-huh.
The game was definitely higher than my normal comfort zone.
Right.
And I'll get to that in a second. Seat 2 here, Philly Al's going to raise it up to $50. Oh, sorry about that. It's actually not.
And it's Sinjin that raised here, I believe.
Yeah.
King Jack of diamonds. And Mo is in there with 7-5 of spades. And Mo's got a gut shot here.
Sinjin going to follow up on this one.
Well, Mo checks.
And Sinjin check too, wow.
And Tony, I guess, is in the hand, Dave. Sorry about that.
200.
Well, now Mo's going to come out and bet 200 here, and Tony's got a flush draw, but the board is paired. So Mo's going to try to make a bluff move here. Everybody checked it. Tony was the pre-flop raiser. We were right the first time.
It seems odd that Sinjin would raise and then not bet in position there.
It was Tony that checked it. And he's got a flush draw now, but again, the board is paired, double paired, and he's going to fold.
Yeah.
And Mo takes it down there with a nice bluff. And Mo also had a flush draw. He had a straight flush draw to the 6. River was a 5, and Mo would have had the best hand anyways.
Now, Tony's one of those players where whether I watch Tony in a 300 to 500 game, a 200 game, or any game, doesn't it always seem like Tony's almost playing scared?
Well, yeah, I mean, he just plays so tight sometimes.
I mean he almost, to me, I'm looking at his game, I'm like, man, I almost feel like, because this game is well within his means.
Yeah.
It's only a 500 game, the blind's only 510, yet he plays it almost as if it's like, out of his comfort zone.
And the button has moved over there to seat 3, Kevin.
If you are not here, you are winning.
And we got action between the small blind and a limper. We can't see the new player's card, seat 4. And Tony is in there in the big blind. He got a free ride with Queen 5 offsuit.
Well, he's got a pair.
And
I want to say he's in the lead here.
25 here.
He's going to take it down.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting. I first started playing Limit Hold'em at 3-6. And when I moved up to 6-12, I was scared. I was nervous. And then when I moved up to 9-18, I was scared and I was nervous, and so forth. And I would like to imagine, I mean, unless you inherit $10 million or something along those lines, I would imagine that anytime you move up in limits, there will be an adjustment period where you might start playing a little scared, a little more passively, or whatever it might be, until you adjust accordingly. And obviously last night, that was actually the biggest no-limit game I'd ever played.
Well, I figured that it was probably the biggest game you've ever really played, and I know you said that you played some 8160 at the World Series last year.
Well, I actually played 8160 Limit Hold'em, a lot of that, and I was pretty comfortable in that game. But that was the biggest no-limit game that I'd ever played.
Three-way action here. We had a raise, I believe, by Ali with ace-deuce of clubs.
Yeah, it's about a $60 pot right now. Actually, I want to say an $80 pot. I'm sorry.
And he got checked around. Turn is a 3.
And
Ali checks again. And actually, you know what it was? It was Win that checked. The river here is a deuce. And it's just going to get checked down here.
And Wing's got the best hand.
I needed a one goddamn diamond. Thank you, blind.
So Win there spells his name Wing,
Right,
but
that's what we're
says
trying to
Win.
get clarification on.
Yeah, there we go. Button is in seat 6. If you have any questions or comments for us, please email us at live@thebike.com.
Dave, there's so many wins out there in the world. You've got Vietnamese wins. You've got our buddy Joe Wynn, W-Y-N-N.
Right.
You've got Steve Wynn, the hotel,
Yeah.
mogul.
It's a big name.
Yeah.
I think people, they consciously or subconsciously tried to win.
Bud is limped around here. We got a 5-way action.
Flop is Ace Jack 5
$50
Rainbow.
pot. Ace Jack 5 here.
Wow, and Ernesto's got 2 pair. Bottom 2 pair. He is vulnerable here.
Now, and Ernesto's going to bet here from the button with bottom 2 pair. He bets 60.
Oh, and now we got a live one in there. Look at that. Carlos is in there.
Yeah, he's playing over Mo, and he's going to make the check call here with Jack 7 in early position. So Carlos is playing over Mo right now, and Ernesto's got a driving command of this hand that turns.
Well, not anymore. He does it though. Look at that.
And look at that. He gets counterfeited,
Yeah, and the 7 actually plays. Believe it or not.
and Carlos checks, and Ernesto's going to bet. He's going to bet 100. What a horrible turn card
Oh,
here
it's awful.
for Ernesto. But look at this. Carlos going to get away from it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, it's not a bad fold by Carlos. He can't really beat any real jack there.
No, he can't. Obviously, that's what we say, that bottom 2 pair is really not a hand of slow play. Especially, Dave, if there are any types of draws out there. There's just no card that you know that really you like.
Yeah, except maybe the full house.
Right,
Pretty
right.
sure that's it.
Right, making yourself a full house.
If you want to follow
But of
us-
course, sometimes if you've made bottom full house, you got to step back and think if you're taking a lot of heat with that too.
you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, less so in Hold'em as opposed to like Omaha.
Right.
Or an Omaha bottom full house is often
Right.
a muck.
Well, now look at this Italian Tony. He's got pocket aces, and he's going to raise it up. 20. It looks like 25 to go here, Dave. So only 2.5 times the big blind.
Small raise there with aces, huh?
Carlos is going to call with Queen 3 of spades. And Kenny Witt is in there. Well, 10-3 offsuit, Dave. He just calling. Wow. And Tony's going to be in there in seat 2 with
Might
Queen
be playing
6
the
of
player
diamonds.
and trying to catch a monster or something. I'm not sure.
4-way action, $100 pot. 10-9-4 with a couple of clubs. Doesn't look like anyone really hit this big.
Well, Kenny's got top pair. Does he get himself in trouble here?
You got to think that, I mean, we said that Kenny's probably one of the tightest players on the table.
What's he in there with 10-3 offsuit, though?
Tony's going to bet 50. Wow, and I guess I was wrong. Kenny Wynn. Actually, Kenny Wynn looks like he's going to check raise
Yeah, it
here,
looks like he's
Dave.
going to check raise the minimum up to 100.
See where he's at. Now, you actually told me of a hand that he did this with you against. He's check raising to actually see where he is at
Exactly.
now, right? He's probably going to fold to a raise if Tony comes back over the top.
which it looks like he's doing. Sometimes it's interesting in this kind of situation to just call with the aces and then raise the turn.
Yeah, he's going to make it 400 more here.
Now, this is one of those times where, Tony is prone to bluff. But I told you earlier of a hand where I was playing with Kenny the other night. I had ace-king, he had ace-queen. A flop came out with an ace. He check-raised me on the flop, and then I bet right back at him. And he threw his ace-queen away.
And this is, I think, a little bit easier of a laydown than ace-queen against that type of board.
And he's going to let it go. He got his information.
You wonder, Tony, obviously he's not a professional. He does this for fun.
Wow, the turn would have been another ace.
Well, I think obviously that would have slowed down. Kenny win there. But you wonder if Tony was kind of crafty and just smooth called there. If a blank came out on the turn, what would Tony would have done?
Yeah, sometimes you can do it. Sometimes it's scary. Just like my board, I remember my board was similar to that. That was ace. The board there was 10-9 with 2 clubs, which can be scary. If an 8 comes off, a jack comes off, a club comes off, you might scare yourself out of the pot.
Button's going to move over there to Carlos and seed 8.
3 players.
3-way action. Looked like it was limped around here. 8, 5, 6.
Wait, put it on vibrate. If it rings, just step away from the table. 60.
$60 bet here by Tony with top pair, deuce 8 suited, and he's going to take it down.
Yeah, nobody's got anything there.
It was interesting to see, Dave. Now, normally, Avo, on a full table, plays relatively tight. But last night was, 6-handed, and, anytime anybody walked away from the table, it was 4 or 5-handed. So I wanted to see how he would have made the adjustment to the game, and he did, get hurt in that game last night, and he really went on tilt, Dave, towards the end of the show. He was playing guard. Yeah,
right in the middle of the show, to be honest with you. I actually told Shirley I was going to get up from the game probably 20 minutes into it because I didn't think it was a great game. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed that Avo was steaming and tilting away when he ended up losing about 20 or 25 grand last night. And he's one of the reasons I stayed in the game. And I have nothing but respect for the guy, but he definitely wasn't on his A game last night.
Well, look at this. Pot was limped around, and the flop was checked around. Italian Tony did not bet with ace-3 on the flop. So Sinjin's going to come out and bet out of early position with king-queen here. And so I guess Tony was slow playing the ace-3 because he's going to raise it up to 80 here on the turn.
Well, ace-3 is a monster there. Look at that.
And again, usually against a player that is a recreational player, Dave, I can't imagine that Tony is going to raise here and I can beat something with king-queen. Although in limit, he is prone to do some crazy things.
Yeah, so, Tony is one of those players who's not quite like Ed in the sense Tony will raise with nothing sometimes. Just because he's steaming.
Well, he hasn't really steaming yet, though.
No, not yet.
It would definitely be different if he was steaming.
He did tell me he's down about 5,000 before the show started. So.
Well, he lost about, he lost a good $2,000 in about 20 minutes in our 30 game that started this afternoon,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You're the player. 7.
So he might be steaming from that a little bit.
Super nice guy. Really nice guy.
I don't know.
A little update from last night. Simon, actually, who was, I know, as high as $11,000 last night, ended up losing it all. Ed actually, later on, Vic actually lost money to Ed.
Really?
And I think Vic was down. And Ed was a winner, Mo left a winner.
Yeah, Ed
and those are the 2 real winners.
$60 raise here by seat number 6, Ernesto.
No, not yet.
And seat 4 is going to call with an ace-3 of diamonds. And Tony's going to come in here with queen-10 offsuit. And we've got a $180 pot going 3 ways. Ernesto is the pre-flop raiser. Not a bad flop with pocket 8s. He has an overpair.
Not at all.
Wing's got a gut shot over there.
150.
And Ernesto's going to bet about the pot. 150.
There you go.
And Wing folds.
Big, strong pair.
And Tony's going to fold.
Good bet by Ernesto. Really important to bet. Make the bet strong. Drive out those draws. Drive out the overcards.
Well, the other thing too, Dave, I think that you were struggling with, and sometimes people might not realize that even though the blinds were 25-50, that was a restricted buy-in, no limit hold'em game. Because a couple points you had about 3,500, 4,000, and you might come in for a little raise with, in this case, 3-5 of diamonds on the button, and then once you get re-raised, it's just almost like you don't want to take that heat because you just don't have enough money that you yourself to play a hand with that you need super duper implied odds
Right.
with.
Well, there was a couple of times, like last night, actually, I noticed. I actually raised with 3-5 diamonds, and Ed came over the top with me with jacks. And I did not feel like I had enough to make it worthwhile.
Well, we had a raise here, I believe, by Tony, the minimum, and then Carlos comes over the top for the minimum. So a $10 raise, I believe, or a $20 raise, and then Carlos raises 20 more. So we've got $160 in the pot now, 4 ways. Ace, King, Deuce. Carlos is the re-raiser here.
But Kenny's got the best hand. I mean, he's got to hate the flop, but he's got the best hand.
Let's see how Carlos is going to do. But it gets checked around to Kenny, and he checks. And Tony's going to check. Turn is a 3. And prop Tony over there in seat 2.
I can't remember what
Has
I
nothing
had.
with 8-9 of spades.
Okay.
But now Tony in seat 5 has got the Deuce 4. And now Carlos is going to bet with his gut shot. He's going to bet 50, kind of weak, into about $160 pot.
Yeah, but who can call? I mean, if you're Kenny, can you even call here? Let's see. Looks like Kenny might raise this.
Yeah, he is going to raise.
Oh, this is a nice play here by Kenny.
Maybe I
He's
get
going to make
lucky.
it 160, so he's raising $110.
I guess he sensed the weakness in Carlos's bet and he took
his-
advantage.
Oh, he did it.
And Tony didn't realize that the pot was raised here, and now he's going to fold there in seat 5.
And look what the raise does. It gets rid of Tony, who had Deuce 4.
Pair and a gut shot.
Yeah. I don't think Carlos is going to call this either, obviously. And probably going to Kenny to probably take it down right now.
No.
Yeah, hold on.
There's always an interesting debate when people say, when am I ready to move up in limits? And it's obviously a question that you and I have to answer as well.
This is interesting, Dave, because what's
Yeah.
happened on the table now is Tony said call, and Kenny Wynn is calling him out on it. And Tony mucked the hand.
He bet 50. He raised 160.
So let's listen to the dealer.
So he said call, but when he found out it's 160, he told his
He thought it's 50. He thought the
Yeah.
bet is 50. and he's gonna call it.
He called 50.
An honest mistake.
I think that the floor man's going to rule in Tony's favor here, Dave.
Yeah, I think in the best interest of poker, I think he's going to
Yeah.
do that as well. But
So,
Yeah,
so
and
he
he
wants
did.
a deal?
You want to know what
He did.
Oh, he wants a deal?
And I've seen that, and Carlos is going to fold. I've seen that ruling. A lot of times you see it in limit hold'em too, Dave, when somebody, makes it,
All right.
say 2 or 3 bets and you didn't
Yeah.
I'm not arguing anything.
know.
if it affects, action after the fact, let's say Tony had called, and then Carlos quickly called also.
Yeah.
Well, then you almost have to enforce it.
But
since-
Tony mucked the hand. I mean,
and there was
yeah.
no action afterwards either. It
Yeah.
didn't affect anything. So
Right.
I think in that case it was a clear, just obvious mistake.
Right.
Let it go.
Button's going to move over here to seat 3.
That's okay.
Again, Carlos is playing over Mo there, that cube. Where do I get one of those plastic cubes?
You got to be special. Really, really special. I mean,
St. John's going to raise it up here. He's got ace, queen of spades.
maybe I'll get you one for Christmas.
Going to make it 40 to go.
Alive at the bike one?
And no one's going to play with him. He's going to take it down.
I can get you a live at the bike one with a picture of me on two sides of it, picture of Isaac on the other side, and of course Shirley.
Dave, I'll tell you one of the other advantages of having the archives, of course. You can always watch the replay, the next night of the show. But the archives, you actually get to control the stream, fast forward, wind back, pause. The replay loop is just on a loop, and you don't really get to manipulate the way that the show runs.
Right.
So.
I mean, to be honest
Another
with you,
game.
that's why I watched the show today on the archives,
Right,
so I could
right.
go back and forth and see some tells and so
Yeah.
forth.
Limp around here. And we got a $40 raise here by Tony. He's going to raise with ace-9 offsuit. Looks like out of
Wow.
a small blind. I mean, he's going to raise.
Actually, Tony's raising a Jack 10 diamond. Sorry, right?
No, it's seat 5.
It
Just
is seat
made the
5.
raise.
Okay, wow.
But I mean, if he's going to raise and try to pick up the limpers, why wouldn't you raise to more than 40? You're not going to drive anybody out. But so we got 5-way action. It's a $200 pot. Queen 5-3.
Nobody's got the queen there.
But look at this. Tony's going to bet 20 into a $200 pot, and he's going to get 2 callers
Yeah, not
here.
much point in that.
No. Seat 1 calls with King 5. Seat 2 calls with Jack 10 of diamonds. Turn is a king. Tony in seat 2's picked up an open-ended straight draw.
Yeah, but St. John's got 2 pair now.
Yep. And it gets checked to St. John. And he's going to bet.
150.
He's going to bet 150 here. 150 making the pot about 400. It's 150 to call. Again, Tony is open-ended over there in seat 2. Do you want to go for this draw here? A couple spades out there. You're only going to see 1 card.
Yeah, Tony likes to take a long time and really, really think about these things.
Well, he's getting about 2.5 to 1 on his money, but you got to think of the implied odds. He's got 8 outs to hit his straight, and that's basically about 1 chance in maybe 5.5. But look at the implied odds of the river. You know, if he knew St. John had 2 pair here, still, it's not really a strong 2 pair. I mean, I think he would probably want to see a 9 here, right?
A 9's the only card that's
Yeah.
going to get him paid off. If an ace comes out, it's somewhat of a scare card.
Right.
And I want to say St. John's only got about 600 left, so.
Well, he's got... Yeah, I guess you're right. He doesn't even have that many chips left, and Tony's going to fold.
Yeah.
And the other Tony folds, and St. John takes it down there with kings up.
If you want to follow a live thread, you can go to 2plus2.com. Click on forums, click on World Poker Tour and other events. Check us out, Live at the Bike, for December 15th.
Yeah, of course, you can email us at livethebike.com. We have an email here from Jeffrey Whitley. He says, are the guys in the Live the Bike games chosen for some reason or another, or can anyone sit and play? Well, anyone can sit and play. We
Yeah.
were shorthanded last night, Dave, last night. And that was partly because of the fact that Yosh was in Vegas, and I'll get to that in a second because I happened to talk with Kenny Berg in the bathroom this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Now, Tony is going to raise to 75 here from early position.
Did you shake it for him?
Does it always have to be brought down to that level?
Tony takes it down. No, nobody calls.
I was just going to say, Tony, prop Tony, he's going to raise an early position, Dave. What do you put him on a minimum of? I mean, geez, are you going to ever give him action? Well, I guess he was in mid to late position, but still. He said that he didn't play because Yosh wasn't here. And I told him that the game was 25-50, and he's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't come. So I got to think that if Yosh is going to be here, the game is probably going to move back up to 5,100, in which case, you and I were discussing, there's probably really little point in you playing that game because it's pretty much a gamble the first
Well, you
buy-in.
want to move up in steps. I mean,
Right.
you know, you wouldn't want to play 15-30, limit
Right.
hold'em, and then jump up to 100-200, would you?
Right.
And the same thing, obviously. I'm comfortable in a 5-10 game or a 10-20 game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can go to 25-50 as my next step. I'm not going to go to 5,100 yet.
Look at this. Tony limped in with pocket kings in the cutoff, and it went checked around to the blinds, and Carlos is going to come out and bet from the big blind with 9-3. And
Yeah, well, Tony the
Tony's gonna
Tony the
raise.
fifth.
He's going to raise it to 50. Carlos bet with top pair, and Tony raised. Tony played a trap game here, pretty dangerous. And Carlos is going to call.
Well, Carlos has trouble getting away from top pair. This will be interesting.
Turns a jack, but I got to say, if a 9 or 3 comes out, and look at this, Tony checks right behind Carlos.
No, don't. You're gonna lose.
And I don't know why Tony checked it down there, Dave.
Well, that's characteristic of players that are, you know, here for recreation. They're not professionals, and they don't make money. Obviously, you know, he loses a lot of money on the hands he loses, and doesn't make that much on the ones he wins.
Well, I mean, is this one of these kind of cruel cases of where it seems like some of these recreational players are really good friends with each other and they don't bet against each other? We saw it last night with Ed and Simon, and people sometimes they get angry about that, viewers of the show, but it's a part of cash game poker. Dave. It really is.
I don't think they don't
They don't
bet
bet
against
against
each other.
each
I just think Tony just decided not to bet for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to the way he
Right.
plays there. I mean, think about it. He was in the cutoff seat and he limped in with kings.
Well, yeah. Limped around here. We got 5-way action. It's a $50 pot. Queen 5-8. Ernesto's got a straight draw and a flush draw in seat 6. And he's not going to bet here. And it gets checked around. He's in late position. He didn't bet. The turn is a deuce. I mean, he's on the cutoff. Ali's on the button, Dave. And Ernesto didn't bet again. And the river is an 8. And I mean, look at the draw that Ernesto had there. And no one's going to bet.
No, an ace high is going to win this, right? Am I right?
Especially if you've got a tight player like Ali, why wouldn't you bet there on the cutoff with that flop? Buy yourself the button, right?
Hey, you gotta.
Yeah.
You have to take it down.
And he could have bet at any time there and taken that one down.
I want to say thank you to all the 2+2ers and all the viewers who did support me, obviously. I put a post on there last night. If you're curious what I wrote about it, you can check it out at 2+2. And last night's Live at the Bike, December 14th. I think I'm on like page 19, by the way, the end of it.
Right.
45.
$45 raise here. By Tony. Ace-8 of hearts. Ernesto's going to call pocket 7s. Ali's in there pocket 3s. Carlos has got pocket 9s. We've got four-way action here. And the raise was how much? 50 pre-flop, right? So it's a $200 pot. King, Queen, 10. What a horrible flop for everyone here. Unbelievable. All overcards. Let's see if everyone's just going to be gun-shy here. And it gets checked around.
Wow.
The turn is a jack of hearts.
Yeah, well, Tony's got the absolute nuts here. He's got...
Yeah. He's got the ace-high straight. He's got the flush draw. He bets 50. And Carlos has got the bottom end of it.
And he's drawing dead.
Carlos says, you got the ace? You got the ace? I mean, those are the types of hands there, Dave, where if you can get involved with someone without, with another ace that you can really push because you've got the free roll.
Oh,
there.
you love it.
Yeah.
You can bet if the guy re-raises you can move all in with the
Yeah.
ace-8 of hearts there. And he'll probably call with a lone ace and you're free rolling.
Right. And we have an email here from Ryan Wellings. He says, I don't think you suck, Tuckman.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Some people were calling you David Suckman on Tuesday night.
On Tuesday. Well, Tuesday I deserved it, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what inspired me to play that way on Tuesday, to be honest. Shirley said it best when I told her. I said, for some reason I got it in my head because Barry had put a bounty on me. I put a bounty on Barry. And we kind of just got to be like a home game.
Seat 8 here, Carlos raised it up to 20 with 4-5 of diamonds. And the blinds called ace 10-7 here. And Carlos did not bet the flop there with an ace. Well,
No, and there's straight for wing.
Yep. And he checked it again. And the river's a 3. Wing hasn't put any money in here.
No.
Now he's going to bet. He's going to bet 50. But nobody else made anything. Well, Tony's got a 7 here. And it looks like all the players are going to fold. Well, I mean, if Carlos checked the flop, the funny thing here is that if you look at that board,
Yeah.
it's always fishy when someone doesn't bet when they raised it pre-flop with an ace on board. Now, if you make the straight on the turn, you think that Carlos might be slow playing a giant hand like a pocket aces or pocket 10s? Why not bet right in there on the turn with the straight?
I think you need to, though. You're almost hoping one of the players is an ace. Well, this time Carlos has got a pretty big hand. He's got ace-king, offsuit, and he's going to raise it up. Looks like he's going to make it $50 with ace-king.
50 to go.
And this is interesting. Your seat 4, Wing's got ace-jack suited, and he's in the small blind. Sorry.
Seat 9's going to call here. You got to always, lift your eyebrows when you see
Kenny call.
Kenny Wynn call. He's got pocket 6s, and we got 4-way action here.
Yeah, we got a $200 pot to the flop, folks.
Seat 2's got 4-9 of spades there.
That's Tony.
Is that prop Tony? Wow. Queen 7-6 here. And look at Kenny Wynn. He's flopped a set. But no one else really has anything.
No, it's missed everybody else.
And Carlos, let's see if he makes a continuation bet here.
Wow, and he does.
He's going to bet 200. He's going to bet the pot. Let's see how Kenny Wynn is going to play it.
And you can't fault Carlos here. He's making a continuation bet. He's not putting in one of those little weak pine bluff bets. He's betting the pot.
What is Kenny Wynn going to do here?
Obviously he's going to play the hand. Does he smooth call or does he raise?
It looks like he's just going to smooth call. It is a rainbow board.
Yeah.
We always like putting some money in there.
Well, if an ace or a king flop off here, Carlos might lose a lot of money.
Let's see the turn. Turn is an 8. I think Carlos is just going to shut down here. Whoa, wait a minute. He moves all in.
That was a good call by you, Bart.
He's going to move all in here. And Carlos is drawing dead.
Yeah.
He is drawing dead. It's it. It doesn't matter. The last card is Jack. Well, again, Carlos is a recreational player, Dave. If I make a continuation bet and Kenny Wynn smooth calls me,
Thanks,
you can
I'll
forget
pass.
it. You can forget it.
Minimum he has there is ace queen.
Yeah, yeah.
If he calls that.
You can forget it. I'm out of there.
Because he's not calling 200 with 8-9.
No.
Sorry.
No. And I always am very, very weary of a player who I know is really solid, who smooth calls as opposed to raises. It's almost like he's got some sort of massive draw that he wants a bunch of people in there. And that flop had a straight draw on it, but it wasn't real draw heavy. Or he's slow playing a monster.
Yeah, and I just don't put Kenny in there with 8-9.
Yeah.
So you almost got to put him on minimum ace queen or set.
Yeah.
600
Yeah.
balance.
He's not going to be playing, or some. I mean, I guess he could have had 7-8 of diamonds, something like that. But he's not going to be playing like Queen 7 or something like that. There's just no way. Not with him. You got to know your players, obviously. Know when to hold them.
A lot of Broadway out there. Look at this. We got 2 queens, 2 kings, and 2 jacks out there, plus an ace.
Look at this. Tony's going to make this little minimum raise here to $30 with King Jack suited out of seat 5.
4 players.
And we got 4-way action. Tony V in seat 5, the raiser.
Tony the 5th.
4, 5, 7 with a couple of hearts. Kevin, look at this. He's got a straight draw and a heart draw in seat 3. And Tony's going to make another little bet. I think he bet 30 here, Dave, on the flop.
And his instincts are right to bet that flop, but he's got to bet more if he wants to take it down.
Look at this. Kevin just calls, but Kenny Wynn called in there in between. Such a small bet. Turn is an 8, and now Kevin has a pair. No one has a 6 for a straight.
$50.
And Tony's going to bet 50 now.
At
I think
this
it's
point,
time for Kenny Wynn to just get out of the hand, even though it is small bets.
Yeah, well, the caller behind, you have to get rid of it.
Yeah. Let's see what Kevin does here. He's just going to call.
Player.
Here we go to the river. The river's a deuce.
What a perfect card. That's fine. That doesn't scare you if you're Kevin.
Unless Tony bets really big again, you think he has an overpair.
Yeah, but he's betting. He bet 30, then he bet 50.
Well, now he looks like he's going to bet 100.
90.
Oh, he bets 90 here.
Into what, like a $400 pot?
Yeah, I mean...
Pawn.
And wait a minute. Kevin, I think, moved all in. I think Kevin moved all in.
Hello.
He moved all in with Queen 8. And I guess Tony didn't call, because I think Tony just folded.
Yeah.
Unless, maybe Kevin called, but I couldn't quite
No,
hear. I could have sworn he said move all in, but...
I'm actually curious here. Let's get a confirmation of that, whether he moved all in there. Oh, he just called. Okay. So I was going to say, he's a pretty solid player. Moving all in there makes no sense.
Yeah, I could have sworn he said move all in.
I mean, because Tony's not going to get away from an overpair.
Button's going to move over here in seat 5.
And this is the question I want to pose to people on 2+2 and people watching it. And email us or post on 2+2 and let me know, and let everybody else know, obviously. In terms of moving up stakes, is there a way to avoid feeling out of your comfort zone? Because obviously the first time you play a new stakes, higher than you've ever played before, obviously you're going to feel a little bit out of your zone.
Right.
And I'm curious of what people think about that.
Live straddle here by seat 8, Carlos. So we got 4-way action, Dave, which means it's an $80 pot because it was 20 to call because of the straddle. And look at this. Ali flops the nut straight.
Uh-oh, and Tony has got... No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I thought Tony for a second had a straight as well.
No, he's got middle pair and
I
straight
got so
drop.
excited.
And everyone checks.
Well, Carlos has got a straight draw also.
Turn is another 10, but Tony's got trip 10s, and Ali checks the straight again. And Tony's going to bet now. And he's going to
I
bet.
gotta tell you, I don't like the way Ollie's played
No,
this
not
hand,
at all.
Because you got calling stations out there. Carlos would have called you at the jack. You know,
He just called. Wait a minute. Let's see. I think he said. Did he say raise? I think he's raised the minimum here, Dave.
wow.
No, he's just called.
And Carlos threw it away. He didn't open in the straight draw too.
Ali has just played this nut so slowly here. He just called. And the river here is an ace. And Ali checked it again.
I gotta tell you, I don't mind the bet by Tony here.
Tony bets 200.
Wow.
275. I mean, if you're so tight like Ali, and wait a minute, Ali folded? Does he not know he has a straight?
Oh, he doesn't have
He
a
doesn't
straight.
have a straight, because I'm looking,
That's
I'm like,
hysterical.
we both didn't know. I mean, I called it straight, and then we're like,
I didn't even look, and I'm going, you have the nut straight, and I'm looking at the board, I'm going,
no,
wait a
it's just
second.
open-ended. Sorry about that, folks. We are live.
Yes, we're live, unedited, unscripted, and but we got everybody excited about it, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta stop taking your word for this.
I know. Well,
Second time in like 2 weeks, I tell you.
We're like, how passively can you play this straight?
And then muck it. I was like, wait a second, something must be wrong. So I immediately looked to the board to see if that was actually his cards.
Yeah.
And then it started piecing together.
Tony's going to raise here. He's got pocket sevens.
Although I still think he played the hand somewhat passively. He could have bet anyway.
Absolutely.
Total 60, 50 more.
Tony V made it 60 to go here with pocket sevens. Seat 8 is going to call here. Carlos, 6-3 of hearts.
3 play.
And seat 2 there, prop Tony is in there, so here we go. It's a $180 pot. 9-6 deuce with a couple of spades.
Yeah. I think Tony V still has the best hand here with sevens. Carlos has second pair, though.
Do you think that Tony Prop is playing the players there, calling a raise with Queen 10 offsuit? Well, Carlos is going to come out. He's going to shoot right in here with a pair of sixes.
You know, sometimes when you play with inferior players, it does affect your play because you're actively trying to get in pots with them. And it sometimes it makes you a worse player, and it does do that to you.
Well, Carlos is bet 90 here. And let's see what Tony does.
Call.
He calls.
2 play.
Hands up. I think
And let's see if they do check it down here, Dave, between them two. Well, the turn here is another 9.
right.
Well, Tony's got him. He's got him
Yeah.
nailed here. I mean,
Dave,
Carlos
I
is a 6.
guess these two guys don't bet against each other.
I guess
apparently.
not.
No.
Well, Carlos likes to do this. He always does it. Hey, you want to check it down? You want to check it down? He does it to everybody.
Oh, so you think that it might not be an agreement between him and Tony? He just, whenever he feels uncomfortable at his hand, he just checks it down.
Even if he's comfortable, he said it to me sometimes. He goes, hey, you want to check it down? Let's check it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to tell him, no, play your hand, play your hands.
Yeah.
I don't want you to check it down with me.
Anything I bet he will call anyway.
The other thing, too, Dave, about last night that people were complaining about was they thought that Ed and Simon checking it down was borderline collusion. They were up in arms about that. I mean, were you really bothered by that as a player on that table?
Not really, because it clearly wasn't collusion.
Right.
It was just two players, when they got heads up, they were playing it soft. They were checking it down. Because there's no way Ed and I know, obviously, I know Ed very well, and I know
Right.
Simon. There's no way these guys were playing partners or
No.
colluding in any way.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like one guy was raising other people out so they could check it out.
Couple big hands here, but everyone limped in. Tony V with ace queen and seat 6 with ace jack, and the flop comes ace deuce 8 here. A couple clubs, and look at Tony Prop. He's got a flush draw,
This is interesting.
25.
and Tony V's going to bet 25 here.
He never bets enough.
75.
Well, Ernesto's going to raise to 75, and let's see. And Tony's going to make the call here in between with the flush draw.
Let's see if Tony pushes now.
75.
So Tony Prop calls, and what is Tony V going to do?
And I can
here?
tell you, this is now a time not to be the caller, Tony.
He just called though, Dave.
3
Pot's now about 275. Here we go to the turn. Turn is a 9. Now Tony Prop has a pair with this flush draw. And it gets checked over to Ernesto. And he's going to continue to bet with what he thinks is the best hand.
Yeah, well, of course he would think the best hand. I got to tell you, with Tony in there, with Tony Prop in there, you know he's got some sort of draw or something.
Well, he's going to make the check call here with the 9-10 of clubs.
Yeah, come
Pot
on.
is now 575. And Tony V's he's just going to call.
Yeah. Maybe he's scared of ace-king. I mean, let's say that.
Well, pot is now 725. Remember, no one raised pre-flop.
Right, but if you're scared of ace-king, get out of the pot.
725 here. Here we go to the river. River is an 8, and
Right.
ace-queen is good. Is Ernesto? No, Ernesto's just going to check it down. He's hoping that ace-jack is good here. But Tony's going to take it down with ace-queen.
Yeah.
Boy, he really played that hand passively.
Well, that's the thing with these players
Yeah.
is Tony will make the minimum on the hands he wins,
Right.
and lose the maximum on the hands he loses.
Yeah.
Pure love.
I mean, I personally, and back to last night's game, I personally don't understand when players check it down.
Right.
You know, I mean, if I'm Ed, to be honest with you, the one player I don't want to check it down with is Simon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with Simon, but to me, he's the livest player at the game, short of Ed.
Right. And obviously, he's going to make moves, and you can pick him off.
Right, and if I'm Simon,
Right.
why do I not want what I don't want to play against Ed? Why am I in the game then?
Yeah.
What, Simon wants to go heads up versus Avo and Vic and Mo and me?
Right,
I don't
right.
I don't understand that.
Well, obviously, I'm sure that people want to know, and whenever you get to it after this hand, about that ace-9 hand where it really looked like you thought you had the best hand,
Yeah.
but you just couldn't put in that 1,500 there at the end.
Well, I actually wrote about it in the post, but I'll mention it obviously on the air.
Well, because it was funny, there was another hand between you and Simon that didn't get a lot of play there written up that I want to ask you about as well. Limped around here, it looks like 4 ways, and we got a $40 pot. 2 limpers and the blinds. Queen, queen, 3 here. It does not look like anyone has any piece of this. And it's going to get checked around here. Turn is a king, and now Carlos has top pair.
Yeah, he's got the goods here.
He's on the button.
Imagine he's going to put a little bet in here.
And the action is on him.
I don't think anybody can call this, right?
He's going to bet $35 here, kind of a small bet. Well, actually, you know what? It's a pot-size bet. Pot's about 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't raise.
And is Tony calling here with ace-high? He's
Wow.
going to call with ace-9.
He's got no pair, no draw, no nothing. What is he doing?
And the river here's a queen. Carlos has a full house.
You win.
And they check it down, and Carlos takes it
You
down.
win. That's a good win.
Yeah, I don't understand the play there. Now, the one thing about the thing I don't understand also is I have no problem if you play with a buddy and you don't want to bet it with him. I mean, I don't like that at all. But you have to protect your hand. There were numerous times where I saw Simon and Ed check it down, where Simon had like pocket kings, pocket queens, and then he let Ed get there and he lost a $600 or $700 pot because of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what are you doing? You got to protect your hand. You know what I mean?
Look at this. We got a post on 2+2 there, Dave, by SP Surf and Michael. He says Bart equals Shirley, referring to that straight. Shirley has a little bit of difficulty noticing straights all the time.
Okay.
You're
There you
right.
go.
I equal Shirley that hand.
Ooh,
Sorry
pocket
about that,
kings
folks.
for Sinjin.
Yep. And he's in the small blind here. And look at this, seat 6 raised to 40. Ernesto with ace-jack, and Sinjin's just going to make the call. I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you there with Tony V in between. Do you want to take kings 3 ways?
Well, I was going to tell you,
But he is going to take it 3
he
ways.
likes to play it tricky. He likes to slow play his big pairs
Well,
in the
8-8
blinds.
deuce here. And he checks, and he gets the bet by Ernesto, the continuation bet. And it's a
And-
great flop for pocket kings.
And you're pretty sure Sinjin's going to...
You know, Ernesto has bet 100 here.
Sinjin might just call this. He's got the king of clubs in his hand. He might hope. I mean, he might be putting this guy hoping that Ernesto's got jacks or queens.
Well, the other I got to be honest with you, though, too, Dave. If you're going to play it and you're just going to call the flop here, if an ace comes, it's almost one of those times where you can't really take the heat.
No, without a doubt.
You've got, if you play it slow, you've got to
No, he's gonna raise
almost
this.
get it out. Well, there he is going to check raise. Makes it 300.
I don't necessarily agree with the play. I just know I actually played with Sinjin last night, and I'll tell you about the hand. It was really interesting.
So Ernesto bet 100. Sinjin made it 200.
Yeah, and this
more.
is going to end right here.
But even before you get to that,
Yes.
isn't it a little bit dangerous to keep somebody in there in the blind that you know 95% of the time is going to call with any 2 cards?
Yeah.
Tony V and C5.
Right, no, without a doubt.
I mean, I understand if you knew it was going to be heads up because you know you got tight people behind you that are going to fold.
Or if the bet's big enough that you
The
can
bet's
do it.
big enough, right?
Right. There was an interesting play last night. It was a 6-handed game. I had pocket aces, 3 limpers in, including Sinjin. So I made it 70 to go. Okay, with pocket aces. It folds around. Everybody folded back to Sinjin, and he smooth calls me. He smooth called me with pocket aces.
And you had pocket aces?
We both had
well?
pocket aces.
Yeah.
And all the money went on the turn. Because he actually checked to me. I bet. The turn he checked. I bet again. He check raised me. And
Were you
when I
afraid
moved
that
all in.
you were up against something bigger, or you just didn't have that much money left?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the pot was about 2,500.
Yeah.
And he had maybe 700 or 800 left. So it was really a no-brainer for me.
We got a raise here by Carlos. He's got queen 10 of diamonds, seat 8. He's going to make it, looks like 40 to go here, 4 times the big one. And Kevin's going to call it the suited connector. Tony V's in there with 6-10 of clubs. That's a triple gapper, huh?
Yeah. Not a big fan of that one.
Three-way action here. Ace, jack, deuce with a couple of spades. Kevin's got a flush draw.
The problem with those triple gappers is you can't flop a nut straight.
You got checked around. The turn is the 3 of diamonds. And it gets checked around here again. And the river here is the deuce of diamonds.
Well, I think ace high is good, right? I mean, queen high is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Carlos has got the nuts.
Unbelievable.
I had king high.
And he's going to take it down.
And take it down, Carlos there. Interesting. I actually saw Banger talk about the hand last night. You had mentioned, Bart, where I almost called Simon with ace nine, and I really wanted to. And you know, I kind of hit myself right after the show ended because I should have trusted my instinct. I should have trusted my gut. My gut said that he had nothing, and I guess I just couldn't pull the trigger. For whatever reason.
Button's going to move over here to C2.
Right here.
I guess the question of, do I make that call if I'm in the 500 game and that final bet is, say, $800? Maybe.
Look at this. St. John's got pocket kings again here, Dave. Again. And he's going to raise.
120.
He's going to make it 120 to go.
Wow, that's a big raise, huh?
God, look at this. Tony's going to call with pocket threes.
Well, if he hits a 3, Tony's going to break him.
You always call me. You love to call me, don't you?
Here we go.
There's a 3.
Oh, 3, but it's an ace there, though, Dave.
Oh.
It's an ace. Tony checks.
Oh, what a lucky flop for St. John.
And St. John's going to check also.
Oh, that's such a lucky flop for him.
Turn is a 10.
If a queen comes out or a king, St. John can win this hand.
Tony's going to come out and bet now. He's going to bet 300.
Wow.
That's about a pot-sized bet. A little over the pot.
Oh, what a luck. I mean, St. John really got lucky there with the ace.
Well, Tony got lucky to flop a set.
No, without a doubt. But I mean, the luck of him saying, in fact, that the set came out and the ace came out. And he's going to call anyway,
He's going
though.
to make the call anyways here. Well, he's got a gut shot there also, like you said. And here we go to the river, and the river's a 9, and Tony's good here. And Tony checked it.
Wow.
How do you check?
Yeah, amazing.
One pair.
And Insignia's going to check right behind him.
Yeah, I can't believe he checked
I mean,
that.
what is Tony scared of there? Wow.
Oh, man. I mean, I just mean lucky in the sense, I mean, Tony actually had about $2,000 there. And if the flop comes out, 3-8-7, St. John's probably going to go broke.
Well, we know Tony really well, and we know he's not doing this, but my first response there was saying, Tony checked it there at the end. Could you possibly check there with a set of 3s? The board is ace, jack, 10, 9, blank. No, you're not scared of king, queen. Either half check to induce a bluff and half think, well, the guy checked behind me on the flop because he's slow playing the monster, and then he smooth called me on the turn, or are you so sure that he's just got queens or kings? Because if he's got 9s, 10s, aces, or jacks, I'm beat.
Well, let me ask you this then. What are you going to do, though? If he has a monster, he's certainly going to bet it. Then what do you do with your set of 3s? Maybe it's time for a blocker bet?
It depends on how much he bets.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. The pot's almost $1,000.
Yeah.
If the guy has a set of aces, does he fire big there? And then what do you do with your set of 3s? You put yourself in a tough spot by not betting it.
Deuce 5-8 here with a couple spades. The only problem is if you bet and he comes over the top of you big, now you got to reevaluate, right?
Either way you do, though.
Yeah.
The money's going to go in no matter what, though. If the guy's got the nuts, he's going to bet it.
Kenny Wynn bets here with Queen 8 and Queen 5, excuse me.
30 more.
And Tony V is going to check raise here with top pair. Wow, and Kenny Wynn is going to call here with Queen 5.
Yeah, he's got second pair. I guess he's hoping to hit a big one and try to break Tony. Tony is the, he's the mark out there. Everybody's looking to get him.
Turns a 10. No help for Kenny Wynn.
Tony's going to bet again.
Well, why not? Looks like Carlos is moving seats over there to seat 6.
That's $100 there.
There it is.
Takes it down.
Takes it down. So I guess Ernesto is out of the game. Carlos moves over to seat 6.
Yeah. Now, just back to that last hand with the pocket 3s and the pocket kings. I'll throw this at you because I think you need to bet the river there, and this is the reason why. Okay, let's say you take the scenario. Let's say you take 2 scenarios. One scenario is that St. John has kings or queens, right? If he has kings or queens, he's certainly going to check behind you. You're going to make no money, right? But if he has aces or if he has some sort of monster like pocket jacks there and he has a set of jacks, he's certainly going to bet the river. And if he bets the river, you got to pay him off anyway. So it's almost like when he has the hand, you're going to lose money, and when he doesn't have the hand, you're letting him off the hook. I'm not sure if St. John pays off anyway, though.
Limp here.
I tell you, the game is so much easier from behind here.
Oh my goodness, of course. Four-way action here. Now, St. John limped in with ace-jack here. He's hit top pair. Kevin's got second pair. And St. John did not bet. He's playing it cagey, Dave. Again, in a limped pot. The
Right.
turn is 4 diamonds. And now he's going to bet. Well, you really got to watch this guy, because sometimes him not betting and betting doesn't necessarily mean anything, right?
Well, he plays a lot of the $200 game, and in that game, you can't really get hurt that much. And I think that might be the reason he's playing it so, tricky, trying to trapping people.
Yeah, because, you put in a bet in here on the flop, you knock something like bottom pair out, all of a sudden the turn card comes a 2-pair kicker or trips. Is he good enough to get away from the hand if he plays it cagey? It's almost like when you don't bet. Obviously, the pot was limped around anyways, pre-flop. It was limped around. So you can't take a heat a lot of times anyways with ace-jack. But now, you've seen 4 cards. So really, can you take any heat on the turn with ace-jack?
No, not really. Ace-jack is what kind of hand is that?
Right.
Mo's going to straddle this pot, by the way. Button is in seat 5.
There's an interesting post here, Dave, regarding your question about bankroll, taking shots in higher levels by Boondoxed on 2+2, and I haven't seen that guy post, so I'm going to read it.
Okay.
So straddled, like you said, we've got multi-way action here.
And is Mo going to take a shot at it? No, he's not. Okay.
He had king 6 of spades.
Sometimes he likes to take a
spot.
shot when everybody limps in.
So the pot's $120, 6 ways. Buttons in Tony V's hand in seat 5, and the flop comes out Jack 10 deuce rainbow.
Well, nice flop for Wing and St. John, but Tony V has got the best hand right now.
Yep, Wing and St. John are open-ended.
Hey.
And I believe
That's betting.
that Tony is going to bet.
Yeah, he tried to
Jack
raise
5.
himself there.
Right, no one had bet. He's going to bet 45 into a $120 pot.
And that's the problem with Tony's game. If he would bet 120 here, the hand might even be over. Who knows?
St. John's going to call. And I assume that Wing is also going to call.
Well, Wing's also got the backdoor spade draw.
Turns a 3. Tony is still good here in seat 5.
Come on, Tony, fire big here.
If I make 2 bet, I'll bet.
Well, the pot, Dave, is about $250.
Small bet.
Oh,
And he's going to bet 50 into a $250 pot. I mean, he's playing it almost like a limit game.
he's inviting these guys in to win his whole stack.
But look at this, St. John's going to raise.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's not really. It might work. We'll see, but that's not really the way I like to play Tony here. If Tony's going to give me such a cheap shot
Yeah.
at getting the nuts against him, why not take it?
Let's see how much St. John makes it more here. There's the 50. He's going to make it 175 more, Dave.
Yeah, that'll probably get rid of Wing.
Pot is now 525. It's 175 for Tony to call. He's got top pair. 175 more to call. 525.
It's a rare day that Tony
He's
throws
gonna
away
muck this
top
hand.
pair.
I can't imagine it.
He might throw away a 10 here, but it's really rare that he throws away a jack.
Well, the issue is if St. John misses on the river, what does he do? Because if Tony makes the call here, don't you have to almost put him on a minimum of 10 high kicker or at least jack weak kicker? All right,
Yeah, it's tough sometimes
and
with
he's
Tony.
going to make the call.
But this is a big bet. Tony's not calling with a pair of deuces, a pair of threes. You know what I mean? And he's bet twice.
Pot is now $700
Yeah.
going to the river. St. John needs a 7 or a queen, and it does not come.
No.
So let's see what St. John's going to do. Although it might be maybe a scary card because Tony can't beat the king.
Yeah, but I just don't see it happening.
And St. John is going to bet here 250? Is it?
I don't think he's betting that much. I think he's betting like. And let's see Tony. What is he going to do here?
250, Dave.
Into a $700
And
pot.
Tony just folded. Quickly
Oh,
folded.
wow.
250 into a $700 pot, and Tony quickly folded.
Well, I just didn't think. I mean, to me, I just don't understand why you're calling on the turn then, Tony. Right? I have no problem with the fold. Jack 5 is a pretty crappy hand.
Right.
But why are you calling 175 on the turn? Are you calling for a 5?
Exactly.
So I have to beat you with my cojones.
Yeah,
Well, St. John did not have a straight there, Dave.
you're right.
And let's read that post you had
Oh,
said
yes,
there,
of course.
back from our new poster here.
Sometimes I just get involved.
There it is, from Boondock.
He says, I think some players move up in stakes by taking shots at the next higher level when you've got some space in your bankroll. It's then easier to move back down if it doesn't go well. I think it'd be a lot tougher if you were making a concerted effort to stay at a higher level and felt like you had to stay there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good point.
Definitely.
Well, Wing here is raised it to 50, and Mo's going to call in the blind with ace-queen. Wing's got pocket nines. There's the ace. See how Mo plays it. Mo's going to check.
Mo loves to check raise.
And Wing just checks right behind him.
Yeah,
Boy, it's
if a
amazing.
9 comes out here, you might be in trouble.
Turn is a jack. And, I mean, now what, does Wing just fold to a bet here? I'm just amazed how many people just check here, Dave. We've seen people check in position with pocket kings. Wing just folds.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Mo could have had anything there.
Yeah.
I mean, he happened to have the ace, but he could have anything there. It's interesting, and I want to just preface this by saying I am not Phil Ivey. I don't consider myself Phil Ivey, or even in that close to that league. But Phil Ivey,
you look a lot like him, though.
Yeah, I've been told that. Anyway, though, he actually used to talk about when he was moving up in limits, and I'll get to this in a second because I read this and he actually talked about it.
Buttons moved over here to Ali in seat 7.
Mo's got ace-jack this time in the small blinds.
And Mo is going to raise it up to 75 here with the ace-jack.
Yeah, and then part of the reason he likes to raise this, he likes to figure out where he's at. And he can figure out certain players. Like if Ali calls him, he knows Ali's got a really big hand.
Look at this. Ali's not even going to call with king 10 of clubs.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Not $75.
Right.
And Mo takes it down. Now, Phil Ivey used to say that he actually would start playing smaller limits in Atlantic City, and he would play these limits. I mean, he would play like 40-80 or even moved up to 61-20 and then 81-60. And the interesting thing was he would play there, kick the crap out of the game, build up a bankroll, and then take a shot at the 400-800 game. And he did this for a while, and every time he jumped up to 400-800, he got his ass kicked by the same guy, he would say. And he set back down. He'd lose his entire bankroll. He'd go back down to 40-80 or 61-20 or 81-60, build his bankroll back up again, and then take another shot at the 400-800 game. And he kept doing this over a series of months. And it wasn't until just basically one day he came about, he figured it out, you know, something clicked, and he was able to beat the 400-800 game. And obviously, we know where Phil Ivey is now.
We had a raise here by seat 8. He made it 25 to go here. Mo made a little mini raise here with 8-4 of spades. And St. John's got ace-king of spades, and he just calls. He's out of position, I guess, and he just called.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Man, great chance to maybe re-raise there and pick up some dead money. But
yeah, suited, it's not bad taking it multi-way, but we'll see what happens.
Pot is $150 here. Deuce 3-4 with a couple of hearts.
Interesting flop for Wing there.
Yeah, Wing's got a pair and an open-ended straight draw. Kevin's got an overpair. And Kevin's going to bet right away here to 100. And Mo's got top pair. Not necessarily what you're looking for with 4-8 of spades.
Oh, there he is. Yep, 4-8.
So a bet here by Kevin.
And Wing calls. I can't imagine Mo getting involved with this one. No, he's not in there with 4-8 to get that.
No.
Your card better than mine?
And St. John shows the ace-king of spades. And Mo is lucky that spades didn't come. And here we go to the turn. Turn is another 4, and Mo would have made trips.
Yeah.
Pot's about 350 right now. Let's see what Kevin's going to do.
I got to play if you're Kevin here. Oh, come on, bet, Kevin.
Does that 4 scare you with top pair?
Well, it's a strange top pair, though. You know what I mean?
But look at this. Wing takes the free card, and the river here is a 10.
Yeah,
and now can you value bet if you're Kevin? Or do you think that maybe he's just open-ended and he might try to make a bluff bet on the river? And 7s are good. You know, maybe try to check to induce a bluff there on the river.
Yeah, you can make an argument for either way, obviously. You can bet there. Maybe he pays you off with 4s and 3s. If he is open-ended, maybe you're letting give him a shot to bluff.
Right. Look at this post here by C.W. Siggy. He says, Tuck and Bart, I know you guys play whatever the casino has you play when propping. Do you guys ever play any triple draw mixed games like horse? You know, horse is really only spread in the crazy big green game with Greenstein and Ivy. Would you ever want to play horse if it's spread? Well, if Isaac gets a chance to flip over, they're playing horse right now at 10-20 level.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, I actually frequent that 10-20 game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't play at 300-600 in the Yoshi's game, but I play at 10-20, I'll play at 20-40.
Yeah.
And we played BOT the other day, which was Padugi, Deuce to 7 in Omaha, and it was a great game.
Yeah, it's right over there in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Yep.
Now we have a raise here by Mo with ace, king, and diamonds over here in seat 8. And actually, you know what? Tony made one of these mini raises, and Mo re-raised. And Carlos is going to re-raise all in Tony raised it to 20. Carlos called. Mo re-raised, and Carlos moves all in. Tony calls in between, and I guess Carlos figures there's enough dead money in here. And I got to tell you, against a player like Carlos, I think you do call with Ace King of Diamonds here. Mo did call.
Yeah, and he's in really good shape here.
Yep. And the pot is about $1,300 here.
If you want to go, you go 2 times.
Mo likes to gamble. He doesn't mind gambling a little bit. If he's up against pocket 5, so be it. I'll gamble $500.
Well, they're talking about running multiple times. And again, if you want to take a look and, look what we're talking about, you can go to liveatthebike.com where it describes why we run cards multiple times in large no-limit cash games.
Yeah, and Mo's in great shape here. Carlos needs hearts or sixes, obviously.
Twice, all the way, all of them, or anything you want.
So talking about a deal here.
That's 2 cards. Okay, see the flop.
So we're going to look at a flop, and they're going to run the last 2 cards twice, Dave. So it's a little interesting thing here.
Okay. And turn a river twice.
So turn in river twice
Okay,
here.
well, Carlos has picked up a straight draw, runner on a straight draw. Well, not anymore.
He's got a flush draw, though, now in the first one. Does not make it. Mo's got the ace king. They still haven't showed their hands yet. Queen here on the turn.
6 and only a 6.
Yeah, Mo's going to win both of them.
Oh, good, Tony.
Ace king. And Carlos shows the king 6 of hearts there, Dave.
Yeah. I don't think he really realizes that that's a bad hand.
Good luck, Steve. Good luck.
Some people will sheepishly not want to show their cards because we think, oh, I'm shamed. I'm showing a bluff. I'm showing a bad hand. He just shows it like, oh, look what I had.
I think we're losing action Tony there in seat 5. And Carlos, Dave.
Wow.
The nature of this game just got real different real quick.
Real different.
Yeah.
Once again, you can check out my weekly blog. It's Under the Gun with David Tuckman. You can check it out at liveatthebike.com. And I will address this week's play in depth in my blog, obviously. I don't want to take up too much of tonight's webcast.
There's Alan.
Boring you with last night, which you obviously already saw.
You're never boring, Dave. Come on.
Why, thank you, Bart. Button is in seat 1.
And Mo's going to raise here. He's got ace-9 offsuit.
And he got an ace-jack to fold. But Kevin is going to call here with...
King-queen off.
Oh, wing, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
wing with king-queen offsuit. Tough hand to play out of position. 6 deuce 3 with a couple spades.
Especially when you don't flop anything.
Wing checks. See if Mo's going to make a little bet here. He does have the best hand. And he's going to bet, looks like 150 there, and wing quickly folds.
And one thing I always like to say, and I always preface this, I said, obviously it's really easy for Bart and I and Shirley and everybody at home to be critical of people's play. Perfect poker is very easy to play when you see everybody's cards. And obviously when we give you our opinions on what somebody's doing wrong or what somebody's doing right, it's just our opinion. It's our 2 cents. So keep that in mind. And feel free to disagree. That's the one thing that's great about poker in the sense that you'll never stop learning. It's one of the reasons why I played last night is to learn.
Yeah, the pocket pair is open-ended, 2 street 5. Right? Paul had king.
And look at this, Dave.
All bets, he pushes all in.
Oh, I got a thesis from Jive Dadson.
Jive Dadson, who has actually left the 2+2 thread, has emailed you about your play last night, and it's a little bit long. I'm sure you'll read it after the show. We can't read it here, but much appreciated.
Yeah, I do really appreciate the support I got from everybody watching.
Ace King 4 here.
And you haven't seen the last of me. I will definitely take another shot here and there.
And I will be
games.
playing, Corporation Mike heads up. Probably, I would think maybe the first week after the New Year, Dave.
Oh,
on
good.
Tuesday. Try to shoot for that.
Sounds great. And Ollie's going to take a shot at this. He's got bottom pair. He's got 2 pair kings and 4s with an ace kicker.
He's going to bet $40. And the action's over to St. John with pocket 3s, and he's going to call.
And this is, I guarantee you, the river Ollie is going to check. And let's see if St. John can take it away from him.
I don't know. I think St. John might think, he thinks his hand might just be good in a showdown. He thinks Ali might just be bluffing at it.
Yeah, Ollie doesn't bluff.
Well,
Ollie doesn't bluff.
yep.
He's got at least a 4.
Yep.
He might even have an ace or a king.
I should have waited until you muck it up.
Thank you.
I never muck. I should say king.
Yeah, that was on it.
And the button's going to
You
move
are not that
over
bad.
here to seat 3.
Hi, Tony.
I thought maybe on the flush draw.
Thank you. But looking at you, I know you are not that type.
It's one thing so interesting also, like with the big ace-9 hand that everybody said where I had an instinct, my gut instinct was to call.
Yeah.
It's always a fine line, obviously, between complete donkey and genius in poker. You know, if you make a good call like that, you're a genius. But if I call him with ace-high, and he happened to have king-jack, say, and he had a full house, and he had a monster, like I said, either he's got nothing or a monster, then I'm called a donkey. So it's always a fine line in poker.
We're heads up here between seat 5 and seat 7. Check, check here.
Well, seat 7's in great shape. Ollie's got a pair of 8s and the king kicker, and Alan is drawing dead here.
And Ali never bet here, Dave.
No,
I don't know
like I
why.
said, he doesn't really bet unless he feels like he needs to.
So I guess he doesn't really bet for value then, huh?
I've rarely seen Ollie. I mean, he's got to have the nuts. I mean, he is a solid player. He's just, to me, he's almost too tight. I mean, I'd be surprised if anybody really gives him action. But we've seen time and time again, you can play ABC and you can still get action in this casino.
Right. Button's going to move over there to Allen in seat 5.
Hey, so your Patsies go to Tampa Bay this weekend. What do you think of their chances?
Actually, they're home.
Are they? They're playing them at... Okay.
Really, I'm not kidding.
I like their chances. I think that they are really...
Turning it up. Well,
Well, I think that, you know, with Corey Dillon becoming healthy, it definitely adds
this
a whole
weekend...
other element to their team.
This weekend there'll be a big barometer. Are they back to being the champs again, or are they
Right.
chumps? We'll see this weekend.
Three-way
I'm curious.
action. Pot was limped around here. Mo's got a wheel draw. 7, 3, 4, couple diamonds. Turns a king. And no one really has anything here again. And it gets checked around, and the river is a 7. And Mo with ace high is good here, Dave.
No bet.
Take it down.
Yep. Send it there. Ace is good.
Another great thing about Live at the Bike, once again we're watching No Limit Hold'em, blinds are 5 and 10, is that it is an interactive show. And I'm going to read an email here from Anthony Gordon, moving up your limit. I'm having the same issues with trying to feel comfortable. Some friends of mine who are higher limit players have told me that pretty much everyone takes their lumps when moving up. And he says here, I'm struggling with the notion of not playing with scared money. I guess that is the true nature of a good player. Those that can make that mental hurdle of putting that out of their mind while they're playing the game. And I always like to say, I go, scared money is dead money. You know, you really don't want to play scared money. But at the same time, when you do move up in limits, it is hard to get over that hurdle right away the first couple of times you play at a new limit. At least it was for me.
Look at this. Ernesto is back in the game.
Back in, huh?
Seat 6.
Just when you pull him out,
And he's picked up
drags
ace
you.
king. And he's going to raise. Oh, actually, that's not Ernesto. It looked a lot like him, didn't it? That is Juan. Didn't that look exactly like him, Dave? No? I thought it looked like him.
This guy's a regular. He's here every day, Juan.
Jag deuce 4 here with a couple of clubs. Ali's got a flush draw here on the button.
Yeah.
And I believe that Juan checked and Ali's going to bet. And Juan called?
No,
Well, there's the flush. Or maybe Juan bet and Ali
Yeah, Juan
called.
bet, exactly.
Yeah.
Juan did the continuation bet and then
Yeah.
Ali bet. But once Ali calls you once, you're done with it.
Well, especially now that the flush card comes and it's just...
Yeah. Well, Juan did one bet because he knows if Ali missed, he's going to fold.
Right. Well, that's a great way to get information from Ali. Just bet and see what he does, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you bet $20, he might call you with, and who knows. But if you bet a significant amount, you bet the pot, he's not going to call you with nothing.
Right. And I wonder if Barry Woods will be here tomorrow, as usual, Dave. I think he said he was going to take a couple weeks off, but I think that's from the Wednesday's game. Not sure.
Well, I know he took a hit in last Wednesday's game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that might influence him to take a little bit of a break. He also, I mean, I know it's new for him to play that high. And there he is. As you speak about him, speak of the devil, he's there on 2+2.
Thread. Limped around here. One limper, and we got the blinds. Three-way action. Jack 9-3 here. Rainbow. It's This one's going to get checked around. Turn is a jack.
Yeah, nobody's got anything here, huh?
Kenny Wynn's going to come out and bet here with ace high.
And Allen's calling here?
Wow. Is he going to set up? Oh, I guess he's got a gut shot to the 10, Dave. The river's a 6. I mean, if he could take it away right here.
Oh, if Allen bets, he wins the pot.
But he checked it down, Dave.
Yeah. Come on, Allen, raise it up there. Come on. I just don't understand the play there by Allen. You call for a gut shot, queen 8. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
The button's going to move over there to Kenny Wynn. And again, once Simon and Tony leave the table, you know, obviously the nature of the game changes.
Oh, Carlos and
drastic.
Tony.
Excuse me, Carlos and Tony.
Yeah, you're thinking of last night still.
Yeah, Carlos and Tony. Drastically, Dave. Drastically. Limped around here. Tony has an option here with king. He's got 7-4 offsuit. And it's going to get checked. 10-6-4 here on the flop.
Missed everybody again. There's the
now,
king.
yeah, Kevin's got the top pair now, and he's going to bet 50.
Pretty straightforward here, and this will probably go fold, fold. Take it down.
Doesn't that pierce his eyebrow there, Kevin? Over there on his left
Yeah, he's a
eyebrow.
crazy guy.
A little scary.
Now, Kevin's actually a really nice guy. Talked to him for a while, a couple of nights ago.
And the button's going to move over here to St. John.
There you go. So the Bellagio tournament, what's going on in that?
Well, I was reading something earlier this afternoon that said that Liz Liu was one of the chip leaders, or was the chip leader.
Really? Wow. Well, that bodes well. We need more of her on camera.
Absolutely. Kidding me? Well, let's take a look at the chip count.
Well, there's Mo there in the lead with 2,700 in chips. Tony right behind him with 2,000. Now, Tony's rebought it. Not really had a good night so far. Kenny's actually probably up a significant amount. He's up to 1,600. Sinjin with 1,200. Juan is bought in for the minimum. He's only in for 500. But Mo definitely up the most so far. Probably up about $1,200 or $1,300.
We have pocket kings over there, seat 3. He's in the big blind. We got some other decent hands here. Limp here by Ali with ace ten of hearts. Mo lives with king jack. And look who is in the big blind. It's Kevin. He's pretty tight, so if he raises, he's probably going to have something here.
Yeah, he's making it 100.
Yeah, he's going to raise it up to 100. And everyone quickly folds.
You see how quickly Mo throws away king jack offsuit? It's not even a thought. Those are the hands that are really dominated.
Yeah.
That you just don't want to get involved with.
Absolutely. I was going to say, at first I thought that Tony had the pocket kings. Boy, Dave, Tony raises out of the blind.
Oh.
Too. So how would you characterize Juan's play? We've kind of gone around the table about everyone else.
Juan's also, he's pretty tight as well. You know, if he's betting strong, I've rarely seen him, he'll bluff, but if he's putting a lot of money in the pot, he's got it. Over the last month or so, last 6 weeks, I've been playing a lot of No Limit Hold'em, so I've become more familiar with a lot of these players, actually at the table. I kind of feel like it's important that if we're going to be talking about these games, we should play in them once in a while.
Absolutely. Pocket sixes is going to raise here out of seat 9. And Sinjin's going to call with pocket threes. Prop Tony's got 9-10 of hearts, and Wayne's got ace deuce of hearts. So we got a four-way action.
Hearts come out here, he's in trouble.
What a $200 pot. Here we go. King, queen, queen. Can Kenny Wynn make a continuation bet here? If he does, he would take it down, most likely.
Well, he's in, no.
No, check.
What's if Sinjin fires at it?
Well, how about Tony with the 9-10? Turn
nobody.
is 7. It's a club. And this might want to just get checked around again here. I mean, there's a lot of tight passive players in this game, but it looks like Kenny Wynn is going to fire now.
I like the bet here. I mean, you got to look at it and go, wait a second. If Sinjin or Tony in late position at a king or a queen, they're going to bet that with two clubs out there.
Betting 70.
Kenny Wynn's going to bet 70 now. Sinjin folds. And prop Tony quickly folds. And
Nice
folds.
bet by Kenny there. I mean, it's a really nice bet. A lot of people with pocket sixes, they're just shut down. They get scared and they just forget about it. Really nice bet there.
I think he was the only one with the. Well, he had the highest club in his hand there too. He had the 6 of clubs in his hand. So. Well, you know, I'd love to see Mo adjust to this game, Dave. I mean, remember when he used to play way back when, he really did mix it up. When we had, it's almost like we had better players on the table, loose, aggressive players.
Right.
10 no limit. And then he really started just playing an ABC because that's all you really need to play. You know, can he mix it up now?
Well, I mean, if you look at this table here, you go, okay, Juan is pretty ABC, Ollie's ABC. Kenny Wynn is a pretty solid player, you know. Then you got Sinjin, you got Tony.
Make it 60 total.
Mo's going to come in for a raise here out of seat 8 with pocket 8s. And look at this. Kenny Wynn's got ace-jack suited. He's going to make the call.
I mean, you're talking about game selection. Maybe you play this game because you want to challenge yourself.
Right.
It's not the greatest game in the world, is it?
No way.
I mean, Allen's somewhat of a fish, to be
Right.
honest, but this game has improved.
Three-way action here. It's about a $180 pot. Mo is the pre-flop raiser. Ace-6 queen. And I guarantee you Mo is going to bet here with the scare card. He's going to bet 75.
75.
Little bet to see where he's at, Dave. It's about under half the size of the pot. He's drinking a Corona there.
Yeah, it's a pretty small bet for Mo, and usually Mo comes out and bets pot size. Now Kenny's got to decide, am I going to raise it here or just call?
Oh, he's just going to call. Well, I think Mo was playing the other players that were in the pot. He might have thought that if he bet no one had an ace, they would both fold. Oh, and the turn is an ace now.
Wow.
Mo is checked here. And if you're Kenny Wynn and you play it tricky, you know, you might, you know, when you guys are both deep, what happens if an 8 peels off on the river,
Yeah,
right?
and I think you got to bet this. With 2 diamonds out there, you got to bet it.
He's going to bet 110. And Mo quickly folds, obviously, and they know each other.
And Kenny shows it.
Yeah. You know, Mo bets that 75 because when you're up against Allen and Kenny Wynn, I think that's all you need to bet to get your information. You know, you talk about good players betting the absolute minimum to get the information that they're looking for,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right.
I mean, if you're against a crafty player, well, $75 bet, somebody might smell that off as weak.
Yeah.
And then the other way around, if you're getting against a crafty player and you have a monster, you can bet 75 because you think it's weak. And
Right,
they might
exactly.
come over the top of you.
Well, oftentimes weakness and a really lot of strength actually kind of gets mixed up
Right.
because you're trying to act weak. Oh, by the way, did you like my acting job at the Ace Jack when I flopped the full house?
I did, indeed. I actually was a little bit surprised that Vic Park fired again there on the river because it was just almost
I didn't
like...
get my SAG card for nothing.
Well, it was just almost like the way that played out. It was Ace, Jack, Jack. What came on the turn?
10.
And then the river was a king. So I'm looking at him like, wow, I mean, you said, well, do you have an ace? I mean, if you had pocket kings, pocket tens, or pocket queens, you have a straight or a full house in any fashion.
He's got to hope that I have pocket 9s.
That's about it. I mean, I know what he was trying to do there, but it got worse and worse for him with what he was trying to do.
Right.
You know, with what the hands you might have.
Right. Mo's going to raise it up here with Ace King. $60 right under the gun here. Really show some strength, raising in that early position. And look how tight it is. Juan's not even going to call with Queen Jack suited. I mean, this is pretty, and that's not a bad late end at all. You don't want to be heads up with Queen Jack suited against Mo out of position. You know, against other players, you know, if Tony were to raise, I might call with Queen Jack suited. But Mo, you know, you can pick better spots.
Right.
It's funny. One thing I always like to say is, obviously, we can try to think of what kind of player we are, but more importantly, when you sit down at a table, it's more important to figure out how do my opponents see me. And obviously, I was very aware of the fact that my opponents saw me as passive last night, and maybe even a bit scared. They knew I was new. They knew that I was new to the game. And which is why I was hoping that I would pick up some big monsters and they would try to bluff me off them. Unfortunately, I didn't get too many big cards. But the one time I got Ace Jack, I was able to induce a bluff from Vic.
Pot's limped around here, 5-way action. 6 deuce 9 here with a couple of clubs.
This is everybody. Mo's got a pair of 6s.
Turns a third club, it's a 5.
Wow, and there's a open-ended straight draw now.
Not quite a straight there.
Yeah,
for
open-ended
Juan.
for Ollie. But he doesn't even, he's not even thought.
Betting 40.
And Juan is going to come out and bet here, actually. He's got a...
Open-ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4, 5,
Ollie
6,
had the
7.
same hand.
And Ali's going to fold.
Yeah. I imagine everybody's going to fold this.
And Juan's going to take it down there with the semi-low.
And that's the part of Juan's game that he is capable of doing. He's capable of throwing in little $50 bluffs to try to take down a pot.
Well, the interesting thing about how that hand played out, Dave, with Vic Park is I wonder if Vic Park goes and watches the archives, although now I might answer my own question because you're not normally on Wednesdays. So
Right.
if he only watches Shirley and I, maybe he's not exactly privy to the way that you feel heads up in position betting should go, because I gotta, if somebody's really familiar with you, I don't buy that you would ever check an ace jack jack flop heads up there. I just don't buy it for 1 second. And like I said, even if you were to, it just got worse and worse for him. I understand he only put 600 on the river, but what possibly?
Well, I could have pocket nines.
That's it, though,
Pocket
man.
eights. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
I mean, are you the type of player that's going to call pocket nines when a 10 comes on the turn?
Right, when he bets 600.
Yeah. It's just no way.
Yeah, I'd probably throw it away, especially how passive I was playing.
Yeah.
But that was the way I was trying to figure out. And to people at home listening, I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. Forget about my play, but it's really important when you sit down at a game, and I think less so in an internet game, but when you're playing in a live game, try to figure out how they see you, how your opponents see you. Do they see you as a young punk? Do they see you as loose aggressive? Do they see you as a tight player who'll never mix it up? And then you can use that to your advantage. Rather than try to force them to, think of you the way you want them to think, use their perceptions against them.
85 total.
Mo is going to raise here to 85. He's got pocket sevens.
And I'm raising $200. He's calling.
And he's going to take it down.
All in. He's putting all in. Can you imagine that kind of a player?
Yeah, $1.
I mean, should that kind of player ever win? Ace on the board, $200, he goes all in for
Dave, of course, you can email us at live@thebike.com, and sometimes we get bogged down with so many, bogged down, I say lightly, with so many positive comments about the show that sometimes say, well, you guys just don't read the negative comments. Well, we have an email here from Gregory Jones. I don't think he's ever emailed us before. He says, some of the conversation is so lame it becomes almost unwatchable, but the play is good. Can you guys sometimes let hands play out and play out a little bit? Maybe comment on the tells, nervous twitches. Look how eager you guys are calling out straights that aren't even there. What's the point talking? But I do enjoy the show.
Thank you very much. We do enjoy your constructive criticisms, comments.
Now, Juan raised here with ace-queen, and Ali is called with pocket tens.
What is he risking? There was no $2,000.
King 9, king here.
Now this will be, I'm assuming this will be a little continuation bet from Juan? No.
Well, let's see here.
I think he checked.
But look at this. Ali checks right behind him, Dave.
Wow.
Oh, now Ali's got to think that tens are probably good here. Now Juan's going to bet 50 now. And Ali just calls. Here we go to the river. River's a 5.
Let's go check, I bet.
Boy, does Ali play that passively, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't, that's what I'm saying. He needs the absolute nuts.
I believe that we're going to have a new player coming into Mo's seat.
After you lost that hand and you,
Peter.
You left for
There you go.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
So, Dave, we got about, obviously, tomorrow night is our big game here on Live Bike 1020 Unrestricted No Limit.
Yes.
And then we have one more week until we kind of go on a 1-week hiatus. Dark.
Yes. You're headed back east to see your folks?
You are as well, right?
Yep. I'm going to be headed back to New York.
Yeah. Upstate New York for anyone.
No, actually, I'll be downstate. My folks are now in
Yonkers?
Long Island area.
Oh.
Now. Retired in the Long Island area, so I'll be down there.
Well,
Actually going into the city, I think, on Friday the 30th to see a good show.
Now, Mo's going to raise it up here to 35. He's got King Jack suited.
It's funny. You just mentioned it about Mo, and sure enough, look at he's moving around there. But I think that's actually Peter now.
Actually, but I think it's still Mo there sitting down. He hasn't left yet.
Okay.
Ace, Queen, Jack here. Look at this. And Kevin's flopped the straight. And it got checked around. Turn is a diamond.
And he does not have a diamond in his hand.
I think Kevin was trying to check raise the flop there, and now he's going to bet.
Well, he figured Mo would bet it, and Mo didn't.
Can I give you one more diamond? One more diamond.
Well, it's a $100 bet here.
I don't know. If you can, one more diamond.
And Mo's asking for one more diamond, and he makes the call.
Well, one more diamond comes. Mo's going to take this one away from him, I bet you.
Well, the
No.
river's a 7. And Kevin's going to bet it here again.
Nice little value bet in there.
Looked like about $100. And Mo said I shouldn't call. But he is going to call, and Kevin
That's
takes it
reminiscent
down.
of my play on Tuesday.
Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot that Mo could beat. I'm surprised that he made that play there.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, I think I've said it on the show before, it's really sad. You know, I grew up in Boston. I've
Yeah.
been all over Europe, been to a lot of different parts of the world, and been all over the country. But I really have not spent any time in New York City. Like one night, I'm talking about. One
Really?
night. One night.
You
I went to
gotta-
I went to a Garbage concert back in 1998 at the what is it, the Roseland there, that little rock club,
Yep.
New York City. That's the only time I've ever been there. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually lived there for about 5 months. 5 months, like right around 7th and Bleecker. Kind of a cool
and
little
I've
area
been
down
to,
there.
say, Philadelphia and D.C. numerous, tens
Yeah,
and 20
Philly.
times. Tons of times, but just not. Yeah, I guess I never knew the right people.
I get, if
Yeah.
you don't have friends in New York,
Yeah, it's
then you
kinda
don't
tough
go,
to-
right?
yeah.
You just go there. But,
Yeah.
fantastic city to visit. I'm looking forward to spending a couple of nights there. I've done the whole Times Square thing on New Year's Eve.
Well, I
I'll
imagine
never
you
do
just
that again in my life.
once, and that's it, right?
I'll
Get that out
never
of
do
your
that again in my
system.
life, ever.
Can you even drink out in the street at all? Do they
Well,
let you? Or
yeah, sort of.
Sort of?
I mean, you can, sort of, yeah.
yeah.
But it was.
It's just cold, and it's just a bunch
Oh,
of
it was
people,
just,
right?
it
miserable.
sucked. It was like we couldn't wait till it was 12 o'clock, and once it was 12 o'clock, we
Get
were
the
just
hell
trying to get
out
out of there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was about 15 degrees or so, something like
It
that.
was actually, the one night I was there, I was actually lucky. It was like 25, so it wasn't too bad. But still, though, it was just, it wasn't really all that. I think you should do once in your life, and that's it. if
I
you're
got
a
to
New
tell you, I
Yorker.
mean, out here now, we're in our wintertime in LA. It's kind of chilly during the day. Today, it was 67 when I got out of the car going to the casino, and at night, it gets down to about 55.
Ooh,
C2 is going to raise here to
$80.
80. He's got pocket jacks. That's
Some big raises. You know what I
Tony.
mean? I mean, pre-flop.
And look at this. I mean, we got a new player in C8. He's getting action with 9-6 of diamonds out of position here. You know that Mo wasn't going to call there if he was sitting in the seat with that hand.
Not Tony.
No. I mean, Tony really raises big with his big hands.
Well, that's the
And
important
it's
thing.
just
in these-
amazing that he still gets action,
Yeah,
right?
That's the important thing in these games. Not only do you have to know how people see you.
Right. King
Well, let's see if
3-3
Peter
here.
can take this one away from him.
I don't see it. Check. But look at this. Tony didn't bet, Dave. Well, the turn's a 5.
Maybe inducing a bluff here.
Check. Well, now Tony's going to bet.
Yeah. No point in giving any more free cards here. Just in case the guy's got some ragged ace or something like that, or a
Going to
queen.
bet 100. And,
Tony played it like he had jacks, didn't he?
yeah. Look at Kenny Wynn over there. He's got the Card Player magazine there in seat 9. If you pick up Card Player,
Yeah.
or he did have it in his hand, you've got another advertisement for Live with the Bike on the back of it. And this is one with nice picture of Evelyn Ng on the front cover. Very
Really?
nice
Wow.
picture. And there were a couple.
Is there a picture of Shirley on the back? Or no?
No.
Oh, no, it's not. I didn't know. I didn't say that in jest. I was actually curious. I remember the one during last year's World Series that was big picture, a beautiful picture of Shirley Rosario, and then said, with Dave and Bart, as if, like,
Yeah,
we were
right.
named after her breasts.
Right.
But I'm not bitter.
Well, they didn't have good pictures of us, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Never
that
mind
mu-
the
that
15
must have been it.
pictures we've emailed them.
Yeah, that
No,
must
just
have been
kidding.
it.
Five-way action here.
There are some women card players out there. Maybe they'd want to see a picture of us. Who knows?
Limped around.
Crazier things have happened.
7 deuce here on the flop.
Not a bad flop for 6s or 4s. And seat 3, Kevin's got 6s, and
Oh, there it is.
Kenny's got 4s.
Well, that was Evelyn Ng, and big picture there, Dave.
Yeah. I actually met Evelyn during the World Series. Really interesting, very nice girl.
Actually, I did as well. She was with Daniel Negreanu, and myself and the marketing director for the Bicycle Casino had been invited to a bunch of parties. But because I was doing the convention at the Rio, I really couldn't go out late that much because I had to be there, I say, at 9, 10 in the morning and speak.
Right.
But we did, treat ourselves one night, and we went to the Bluff party, which I believe was at the Palms, the Rain. I believe
Oh,
at the
okay,
Palms.
that's nice.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And, she was there with Danny Negrano, drinking like a little Heineken.
Evelyn actually offered me, she had won an extra seat online and offered to sell it to me for $9,500 or $9,300 for the main event.
Right.
And I was actually going to buy it from her, but just that week I actually won my seat in a satellite. So
We have a raise here by looks like seat 8, Queen Jack suited, and a few people are going to call here. Prop Tony over there in seat 2, 7-8 of spades. Seat 1 with Jack 8 of diamonds, and seat 5 with 10-7 offsuit. Here we go. About a $300 pot here. What a flop for Tony.
yeah, not bad at all.
He's got a flush draw overcards and a gut shot straight draw,
And obviously the gut shot straight flush draw.
and Tony's going to bet 100, and no one really picked up any piece of this.
I think you have to bet this flop if you're Tony. Take it down right now.
Especially if the pre-flop racer checks to you, right?
Right, not even a question. And you know what? That hand's big enough where you can take some heat with it.
Yeah, absolutely. St. John's got Jack 8. No, he's not going to get involved. I mean, when do you ever see Tony really make any types of moves? Daniel Negrano, I interviewed him in Vegas and got to talking with him. He says that he commonly watches the show, and I know on his website, Full Contact Poker, there's sometimes their own thread going on about the show. And he says that he's trying to teach his assistant about poker, sometimes through the show, about cash games.
Well, it's a great way. You know what? Some people forget about it. Sometimes, you're dating somebody and they're like, oh, what the hell is poker? I don't even know how to play it. What is it?
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to actually verbally tell people how to play. The best way to do it is actually watch the show for an hour. And I think any beginner would learn how to play just watching this game.
Option.
Pot is limped around here. We've got 7-way action here, so times 10, $70 pot. Again, we're playing 5-10 blinds. Buttons is in seat 6 here. Deuce, 10 deuce, couple spades. And it looks like seat 5's got the best hand here with 10-7.
And nobody has a deuce.
Betting 60.
And look at our producer get those cards up like that.
Amazing stuff.
Really is.
And Alan's going to bet 60. And if anyone remembers last week,
Yeah, Wig's got spades, so I think he's gonna play.
he's actually going to check raise, Dave.
Wow.
He's going to check raise with the spade draw. And I don't know if Alan's going to get involved, and he's not going to
Nice
get
play
involved.
by Wing here.
Yeah.
Nice play. You know what? I like the play by Wing because he goes, okay, if Alan only has a 10, it's really tough for him to call this.
Oh, absolutely.
And if he has a deuce, I want to find out right now.
Yeah. Remember last week, actually, our producer went out of town for the last 2 days of the week, Thursday and Friday. And we kind of had a new, well, not a newbie substitute, but a substitute, one of our technical advisors. And he just looked like he wanted to take a gun to his head after each show.
And he did a great job, but obviously Evelyn's been doing this for quite a while.
Limped around here, and they're going to chop it up there, Dave, in the blinds. Well, it's funny because actually doing that job of inputting the cards, it's almost like a data entry type job.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a real-time reaction reflectionary data entry. Like your reflexes have to be good to do the job.
I play a lot of like PlayStation, PS2 and stuff.
Yeah.
Grew up playing that. Obviously, I think we were the generation that started it really, which is kind of cool.
Well, I remember like old school NES.
Oh yeah, and you got my first one was Atari.
Yeah. Well, you're older than I am, so you remember that.
Yeah. Isaac's older than both of us. I think he had Pong, the original, from 1962 or something like
Ready,
that.
make it 50 total.
Juan is going to raise here. He's going to raise it up to 100, Dave, with deuce 4 offsuit. I guess he. And actually, it's not 100. I'm sorry about that. It's it looks like maybe 40.
Yeah, like I said, Juan will mix it up once in a while, but if he's putting a lot of money in there, he's got it.
Yeah.
Well,
9-9 here on the flop.
Misses everybody, but Peter's got the flush draw. Let's see if he bets it on the button. Decides not to here. And look at this, 7 high is the best hand right now.
Well, maybe Juan's going to bet at it now. No one wants it.
Doesn't that smell like garbage, though?
Well,
He checks the flop.
I mean,
and he bets
Peter's
that.
hand has no value, really, the flush draw.
I mean, if to me, the funny thing is, those if you're playing against Juan here, you almost got to put him on like Ace Jack, Ace 10,
and he calls.
Yeah, you got to raise there.
Well, if he misses here on the river, but his hand's good here with 5 high.
Well, it's going to be chopped.
Oh, actually, look at this. Yeah, 9s with the king, queen. If it goes check, check, they're going to chop it up. But there's no way that either of them
I
can
don't think
win.
Juan can check this, though. He's got to think he's got to bet it.
He bets 150.
Betting 150.
Is Peter going to call? Well, if he raises it, he's going to win the pot.
I mean, you can't beat ace high here.
No, I mean, but short of ace high, he's got that. I mean, if nobody has a pair, a king or a queen, he's got it.
We mean he's got the chop.
Yeah.
That was a little interesting one.
Yeah, he's pretty much in raise or fold mode there, obviously.
Right. He obviously can't. He can't beat any pair. He can't beat ace high.
And that pretty much sums up Juan's game. Juan will bluff, but he bluffs carefully.
Yeah.
Very carefully.
Well, supposedly, that Xbox 360 just came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big Xbox guy. I'm more of a PS2 guy. I think PS2 is coming out next year, next Christmas, so I'll wait till then.
Right. This is an interesting question here from Chester on 2+2, Dave. We're going to get to it after this hand because we got pocket aces over here in seat 3. But Kevin did not raise. He tried to pull the limp, and he's not going to get the limp re-raise. So 4-way action, limped around. King, Jack, Queen. Well, it looks like he's good all right now.
That's a scary flop, though.
Yeah,
Look at
it
that.
is. Going to bet 50.
Man, I mean, if a 9 comes out, a 10 comes out,
Oh,
an
man.
ace comes out, a club comes out.
Well, he's going to luckily
he's gonna
take
get
it
away
down.
from that one.
And he shows it. He's going to show it. Wow. Again, I don't necessarily know if I would. I mean, there are certain tables, Dave, with the Corporation Mike and other loose aggressive players, where you can obviously pull the limp re-raise. But why would you do it at this table?
Well, although this table, it seems passive, but there's been a raise probably 75% of the hands. Between Juan raising last time with 2-4, or seat 8, Peter raising with Queen
Well, I think you
Jack.
have to look at the difference, though.
Yeah.
Has it been an open raise, or has it just been a raise from late position? Most of the time, it's people opening pots.
Opening raising, yeah.
So
You're less apt to raise when somebody's already limped in.
Right. So again, this one's going to get chopped around to the blinds, I think. Chester on 2+2, he's the gentleman that played over in seat 3.
Seat 3, really nice
He
guy.
said, hey, Bart, Tuck, or anybody else who knows, where did Hollywood Russ go?
And I don't... I don't know what happened to Hollywood Russ, and I don't want to guess at it, but I'm going to say a lot of players that we see, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I'll see a lot of players that play consistently for 2 or 3 months.
Right.
And then I don't see them for 3 months. And then they come back. And I can only guess that most poker players are losers. They lose money.
Right.
And after 2 or 3 months of taking your hits and losing money, they take a break, they get away from the game, and then when they add up some money, they go, oh, I'm going to go back there and play more.
Right.
But we see that.
And usually their game never changes.
No, it's not going to change. It's just a matter of they've lost too much money in a short amount of time. But I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
6 player.
And we got 6-way action, and it's limped around here. Not all that much out there. Ace, Jack, 10.
Yeah, a couple of people have 10s here, but nobody's got a Jack or an Ace. Peter and Juan both have a 10 here. And there's a turn as a queen, and wow, Kenny gets there. He's got this nut straight, and nobody else has even got it. Does anybody have spades? Nobody's got spades here. Kenny's got the nuts, and nobody can catch him. Let's see if he throws in a little $20 bet and takes it away. Maybe about $75. Can't imagine anybody calling this year. But it's interesting, though. I mean, I've seen it a lot where I see players time and time again, somebody I haven't seen for 3 months, and then suddenly they come back. And once in a while people are honest, and they'll say, yeah, I was getting my ass kicked for 3 months, so I took a break. And that's it. Once again, we're live at the bike here. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 5 and 10. Feel free to email us at liveatthebike.com, or you can follow us on a live thread at 2+2. Got a new player in seat 4. His name is Anher. Anher. I don't know. We'll get a pronunciation up for you. Anher. Anher is the name we're getting there. Button is in seat 3. Raise here from Kenny in late position with Ace Jack of Hearts. And And St. John's going to call here with Queen Jack, and 4 players are going to go. The pot's $160. Flop is 7-6-4 here. And look at that. The worst hand has actually outflopped them all here. Queen 7 from Juan, and he's got top pair. And he's going to bet $80, which is about half the pot. And Kenny's going to lay this down. And I imagine everybody's going to lay this down here. Nobody really has much. And Juan takes it down. Get an email here from Riley G. Matthews Jr. talking about New York City. He goes, I called New York City my home for 21 years before pulling stakes and moving to Las Vegas to play cards and shoot films. New York City on New Year's can be a cold hassle. I hear you, buddy. The button is now moved to seat 5.
Well, I have an interesting 2000. Where were you for the for New Year's 2000, Dave?
You know where I was? I was actually in New York with my dog.
Just you and your dog?
Yeah, I got invited to 2 different parties, and my puppy was relatively new. And to be honest with you, I really didn't have any desire to go to one of the parties, and I just kind of hung out with my dog. I don't know. You and I bartended many a New Year's.
Oh, God.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather party on January 2nd. I'll party on December 28th. I don't need to do it on New Year's Eve.
7-way action here, limped around. Tony had pocket 9s over there in late position, did not raise. Jack 4 deuce here.
Well, 9s are still good.
Actually, we got Jack 10 over there.
Oh, do they? Okay, good. I didn't see that.
Kevin's hand. And he's going to bet 50. Boy, does Tony play that slow. Well, New Year's is just amateur night. You know, that's kind of like same
totally
thing with
what you
like
call
St.
it.
Patrick's Day. You know, it's just.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day, I like a little bit more because I got a little Irish in me.
Alan called with Queen 10. What does Alan have here? I mean, is he setting up a play? If a 10 comes, he's in. You know, Kevin's got 2 pair. Tony's out of the hand. The turn's a 4. I just don't know what Alan called here. Kevin checks.
I mean,
And Tony checks.
Yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason to it, to be honest with you.
River's a diamond.
And again, Kevin's backed into a flush draw, flush now.
Yes, he has. He's got diamonds.
Betting 75.
So he bet 75, and Alan folds. I mean, sometimes Alan actually has played well in the show before, Dave, but sometimes he's just.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you
you wonder. Yeah. You can't even
definitely
guess
wonder.
what he has there.
Yeah. I actually was in Daytona Beach, got caught outside a bad nightclub and was trying to hail a cab with me and my buddy right at the clock of strike of midnight. Daytona Beach, what a pit that place is.
Actually, you want to know exactly where I was? The funniest thing is I was actually walking my dog, and you know, the firecrackers started going off, fireworks started going off, and I was on the phone to my then girlfriend, now wife, and she was in Italy.
So she'd already gone through it.
Yeah, she had already gone through it. It was like whatever, 9 hours later or 7 hours later from New York to Italy. I don't even know what it is.
Well, here we go. St. John limped in with pocket queens, and it looks like the big blind has raised, so he probably is going to be able to make a move here. He made it 30, and St. John just called, Dave.
Yeah, he loves to play it slow and trick it up.
But, I mean, do you want to take queens 3 or 4 ways?
Is Alan in there with 10 deuce of diamonds?
He is.
Wow.
Ace, Jack, 9. And Peter's got he's got an ace, and he checks it.
Yeah.
And St. John checks, and Alan checks right behind everyone. Turn is an 8. Alan's now open-ended.
Yeah.
Peter's got 2 pair now. He's got aces and 8s, and he's going to bet.
Now, you wonder here, now if St. John calls and you're Alan, maybe you can take one off because it is a rainbow board. No flush can come.
Peter's going to bet 100
You know what I mean?
now.
If St. John calls this, can Alan call one more time? Also thinking there's some implied odds if I hit my hand. I know it's a one-liner, but if somebody has 2 pair, hey, I might get paid off big.
And St. John's going to call.
And it's all a question here is math, and Alan's going to call this. And
Alan's going to call, too.
if a 7 or a queen come out, he might get paid off big.
Well, the river is a queen.
Well, there you go. Now you got 2 pair, you've
Yeah.
got a set, and Alan's got the nuts. Not the absolute nuts, obviously. King 10 is the absolute nuts, but hey.
So St. John made a set here on the river. The pot is only about $250.
Yeah, and
Ace-8's going to check.
And is St. John going to try to put a value bet in there?
Well, he checks.
Oh, come on, Alan. Bet big here. Come on. This is the time. And if you're going to call, and he's going to bet $300.
Going to bet $300, so that is about a pot-sized bet, a little over the size
That's
of
a
the pot.
nice bet there. And this is funny. He might not get called in both spots because if Peter calls, I don't think St. John calls. But if Peter doesn't call, does St. John have to call?
Well, I mean, if you look at the way that Peter is looking right now and how he checked the flop, you almost put him on pocket aces or pocket jacks. I mean,
Yeah.
he looks disgusted at the river card. He really liked his hand, but that was because he had aces up. But if you're St. John, you don't know that. I think he might have jacks or aces here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, to me, with the one-liner to the straight and a $300 bet from Allen, I know a set's a set, but you got to look at the one-liner. The problem is those Allen might sometimes, people that are predictable think ace jack.
And he
is
makes
good
the
here.
call. So let's see if St. John does not overcall here.
No.
Again, if I'm St. John and I looked at Peter and the way that the hand played out, I think Peter has me beat.
You called down there?
Yeah, that's the thing. You
Yeah.
called that? Wow.
Yeah.
It is. Fine.
I mean, what could Peter call with here?
No.
Well, he
It
could
wouldn't
call
be
with
huge.
aces up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I could beat you, I think I could beat him.
He said he thinks he can beat Allen,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know if he can beat Peter.
And he might not know Allen's game. I don't think Allen bluffs 300 here in the river.
So maybe Peter checked ace jack. You're right. I guess he could have checked ace jack or ace nine, but
Well, he checked it on the flop. Remember,
well, he's going to turn the cards over here, Dave. You're allowed to do that.
yeah, there were a couple times I actually wanted to do it last night, and
I wanted a
should have.
I wanted a 10, not a queen.
So he's turned his hand over here, and I don't think he thinks that Allen has the best hand.
Yeah, he's actually worried about St. John.
Yeah,
Are you worried about Peter?
but Allen is going to take it down.
Well,
there
he
with a
didn't
straight.
call. Give St. John credit there.
No,
He
he
threw away his
didn't.
set of queens.
And Allen takes down a pot that's,
So it's just the opposite.
maybe about $850.
Yeah. Well, Allen made it worth there because he looked at it. He said, okay, well, it's $100 to win what the pot would be about 300. So I'm getting 3 to 1, but now I've got the implied odds another 300. So I'm getting 6 to 1 on my call,
Right.
which makes it a lot more worthwhile.
Alan, I know when you have a hand.
You thought I
Your hair
didn't.
starts to float up a little bit.
You thought I
After you
didn't.
show him and he say
Actually,
you
you
know.
thought I didn't. You
I
said,
know too after
you said you beat me.
Yeah.
You said.
Once again, feel free to email us live at thebike.com. We appreciate anything you have to say, any comments, suggestions, criticism, whatever you have to say. Obviously, Bart and I put ourselves on the line every night here. Open ourselves up to criticism.
Like you say.
Feel free to give it.
The way he called, I knew
Buttons
I
moved
had.
over here. Seat 8, seat 4 is limp.
The way he thought, I was 100% positive. It was obvious. If someone
And it
has
looks like
two
it's
ten,
gonna
he's
get
not
limped
gonna
around.
think 1 second.
Yeah.
He's gonna push it all in.
Wing is going the speed limit here. He's got 55.
2 seconds. That
Five-way
means I
action.
I almost raised it.
Pocket 6s for seat 9, and then we got
Wow.
top set here for
Wow, and
seat
Juan's
4.
got 2 pair.
took me out on the third.
Juan's got bottom 2 pair.
Well, not necessarily a monster hand with multi-way action with that type of board.
Problem is, what do you put people on? What are you going to put somebody on? Besides a set of 5 specifically, what do you put somebody on?
I'm saying if you take a lot of heat, if it limped around, someone could have 4-5 have you beat, have a set have you beat, have a straight have you beat.
I guess. But straight would be ace 3 or 6-3.
And C4 is going to bet right into the set. He bet 55, I believe. 75. And Juan called, and it's Honor there, a new player in seat 4.
And does Kenny call here going for the overpair with the
Well,
gut shot?
how does Juan just call there?
I don't understand
that's
that.
amazing. He's going to just call with bottom 2 pairs
I don't
there?
think you can there, because if somebody has an ace, a 3...
I mean, there are so many cards that you have absolutely no idea where you're at. The only cards that you might like here, Dave, is a high blank. A 10, a jack, a king, a queen. That is not a heart. And look at this. Kenny's going to check race with pocket 6s.
Now, this is interesting. Now,
He's going to make it 150 to go.
well, he's got an overpair with gut shot. He doesn't want to give anybody a free draw. I don't mind the play by Kenny here. He doesn't know where he's at.
Look at Honor's fingers here, Dave. He's trembling. He's trembling like crazy.
And that usually is a tell.
Yeah. And I believe he just called there. Or did he re-raise?
Just called here. And
Wow.
Juan is getting put to the test here.
Almost perfect.
And
That 3-5 game with the best game.
again, can he win check raising you? And then you get a guy that made a big call in between.
And Juan is almost drawing dead, by the way. He needs running 2s or running 4s to win this pot. Because 1-4 or 1 deuce won't do it, because on here has obviously have a higher full house. Wow.
I mean, if I was on here there, I probably would have re-raised a little bit there on the flop,
Yeah,
too.
nice laydown by Juan. Really nice laydown.
Turns a queen. Well, there's a high blank, probably what you were looking for with deuce 4. Although, we have seen Kenny Wynn check, raise the flop, and then fold to a re-raise. So if you want to play it slow, maybe that's the way to go against him. Let him fire in here. He's going to bet 250. He's going to bet 250.
Well, yeah, he's only got about $400 left. If he moves all in, I don't think Kenny can go anywhere.
Well, the pot's 750 now, 250 to call. Or it's actually about 700, 250 to call.
Is this an acting job, or does he actually think that maybe Kenny has 6-3 or ace-3?
I just can't imagine how he's not going to put all the money in here.
And he just calls.
Wow.
Wow, okay.
Dave, he only has like 175 left. Well, the pot's now 950.
I don't think Kenny could have gone anywhere.
Here we go to the river. And the river's a 4. Honor fills up.
Oh, wow. And that would have been 4 deuce. That would have given Juan the full house
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Juan thinks that he probably had by far the best hand.
I tell you, Kenny.
And Kenny's going to bet Honor all in.
Yeah.
And Honor's going to call. And Honor's got the best hand here.
By far.
I know I was wrong.
5's full.
They'll
And
go,
I don't know if we can
oh,
get
wow.
a shot of Juan over there. Maybe a look of... there it is.
Well, that is just money saved.
Right.
When he was probably sick when the 4 came out, and then he sees the pocket 5s, and he's just thrilled. Kenny saved Juan's ass.
Yeah.
That raise saved his ass.
Because you don't usually see Kenny make a lot of moves like that. But, I mean, the pot was limped around. He did have an overpair, but it's
Well, it
not
wasn't
like...
really a move.
Well, I mean, the board, Dave, I mean, it was pretty connected.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. I mean, let's be honest. On here bet like $40. Juan
Yeah.
called. You know?
Well, he bet 75, you know.
Yeah, a small call. I'm going to, hey, I got to see where I'm at with the 6s.
Well, I think that it's an interesting way that the hand played out because Juan should have raised. And then Kenny probably would have folded.
Yeah,
right?
Juan raises,
Yeah.
Kenny folds, and
Right.
maybe the same thing happens on here, wins all of Juan's money instead.
Right. So that time playing it slow there.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, sometimes I wonder, like, these guys, like, with a really, really connected board, I don't really buy into the no limit waiting for, you know, a safe card on the turn. I mean, you can do that. It's more of a limit move because in limit, you can't necessarily bet somebody off of a hand, or you don't want to necessarily jam it there, you know, on the flop.
Right.
But in no limit, you really can protect your hand, can't you?
A little bit more, obviously. I mean, some people will subscribe to the theory of wait for a safe card before really banging. You know, maybe put in a half a size bet on the pot. I mean, obviously, it's you can make an argument for either way.
Well, it was an interesting way how that one went down.
Yeah, definitely. And somebody's got pocket 6s again. They are just going around, and here's a set of 6s for Juan.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody really has much of anything.
Yeah,
though.
no diamond draws, and
No.
Juan's going to bet 50.
And does St. John take one off with ace 4? He does. And if he catches an ace or a 4, he's going to get himself in trouble.
Yep, he makes the call. And we are heads up here.
And Juan is pretty deep, and so is St. John. This will be interesting.
Turn is a 5. St. John checks.
Well, this is interesting. If St. John was calling him with 7-8, he got there. If he's calling him with diamonds, obviously he's not there.
Sometimes you got to live or die by your sets here, Dave. I
Well,
mean,
without
the
a doubt.
game's just not deep enough. I don't know if you can release it after you put a bet in here on the turn. I'm saying if St. John were to come over the top if he actually had a straight.
Yeah. Well,
This
Juan's
one's
got,
just gonna go
Juan's
bet
got over
full.
$2,000, though.
He bets 150 and St. John folds.
Look at the chip count here for the 4th annual 5 Diamond World Poker Classic. I guess Phil Locke in first place. Doyle
Looks like
Brunson in second place.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Some big names up there, huh?
Well,
Darryl Dinkin in
the last time that Doyle Brunson had a really, really good showing in a WPT event was here, right? Last year's WPT Legends. When he won, obviously.
right.
I don't remember him ever making a table besides that on the WPT. I think that was his first and only
Yeah,
one.
he had one other final table, I remember, with, I want to say, he was at a final table with, that stockbroker from New York who ended up winning the tournament. Ted Forrest was also on the table, and I can't remember which one it was, but he was at a final table and he got knocked out 4th or 5th. I'm sure that we'll get flooded with it on 2+2, though.
And the pot is limped around here. King 8-10 here with a couple of clubs. And it gets checked around here. And Juan is going to bet here with the ace coming. He's going to bet 50, and it looks like
He's got 2 pair, and he's got the 8 of clubs in
yeah,
his
he's
hand.
got
I mean,
aces and 8s.
yeah. Take it down there.
Yep.
I forgot.
And Dave, earlier in the show I said that Liz Liu had been the chip leader, but it was Joanne J. Liu, who I guess is a different person,
Oh,
right? I'm assuming, right?
yeah, that's clearly not Liz Liu.
No. But what do I know? But a little difficult to commentate and navigate this damn card player site. I'm looking, I'm like, what is going on here?
There you go. Button is in seat 1, limped around so far, and looks like Kenny's going to raise it up here.
Raise, make it 60.
He makes it 60 to go with pocket jacks. And this is going to fold around, and Kenny's going to take it down.
Well, then I think that box is still most chips over there. We have about a little under an hour left in the show.
I'm actually curious what people think of my, most of my blogs, most of my Under the Guns articles on liveatthebike.com are more about what's going on in my life and what's going on. But the last one was more of, what I thought about Ace King. And I was curious what other people think about my posting. So you can check it out at liveatthebike.com, click on Under the Gun, and read my last posting. I'm curious what you think.
C-Date's going to bring this one in for a race. He's going to make it 30 to go here. He's got Ace, Queen of Spades. And Kenny Wynn's going to call with Jack 8 of clubs. Kenny's pretty deep. I'm not sure exactly how deep Peter is over there.
And that's the bigger question there.
Right. And Juan is in there and Alan's in there. King 6-9. Pretty good flop for Kenny Wynn. He's got a flush draw.
Yeah.
And Peter did not make a continuation bet here with Ace-Queen. And it looks like it's gotten checked over to Kenny. And he might make the semi-bluff, and he is.
And you can call Peter's raises if Peter's not going to continue betting it.
He bets 90. And Juan mucks the best hand here with second pair. And Kenny Wynn takes it down.
Nice play by Kenny. Told you I was a big fan of his game. He obviously got killed with those sixes there. But he really mixes it up.
We'll take a look at another chip count here. Prop Tony over there in seat 2 with over 2,000. Juan's got 2,000. And everyone else is in between 1,000 and 2,000 there. And Peter in seat 8 now has probably only 200 or 300 left.
Yeah.
Done is that?
Yeah.
Kenny took that hit there down to 1,300. But
Yeah.
pretty solid player. I think he'll get more chips later.
Raise, make it 45.
And Kenny Wynn is going to come in for a raise. Ace
tell ya-
King suited.
Barry Woods, I think he's in love with us. He cannot get away from us.
Well, live at the bike.
Yeah.
Juan calls here, heads up, $90 pot, 6-7 of hearts. Can you win the pre-flop razor? He's got a gut shot with overcards here. Juan didn't really hit anything. He checks.
And Kenny's going to bet this.
Juan's out of there. Not a great flop for a red 6-7 there, Dave. And Kenny takes it down.
Button is going to move over to seat 5. Small blind, $5. Big blind is Ollie there in seat 7, $10.
And obviously Alan, the button. Again, Alan, reminiscent out of those 70s cop shows and Beastie Boys sabotage video.
Right out of it.
Right out of it, yeah. Big Beastie Boys fan, Dave? There it is.
I like them. They're cool. I can't say I'm a big fan now.
Limped around here. Kevin limped in there over there with Ace-Jack in late position.
Somewhat late position there. I'm surprised he didn't get a little raise in there from Ace-Jack.
$40 pot, 4 ways.
I mean, Ace-Jack offsuit, do I really want to see that multi-way?
Well, 9-8-5 here on the flop. And everybody checks. Turns a deuce.
I'm sure Juan is going to bet this here now. And he does.
Bet 40.
Going to bet 40, about a pot-sized bet.
It's kind of the check on the flop, make sure the coast is clear, and okay, now I'll fire.
And, we've had some tight players on the table, Dave.
Yeah.
But Ali might be the tightest, most kind of passive player that we have
Yeah,
going for us,
without a doubt. I
in
mean,
seat 7. I mean, it's amazing how few hands he plays, and how, like you said, he almost really only bets when you think he needs to.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
most winning poker players play very few hands, but the hands they play hard. They play really aggressive. And Ali plays very few hands and plays them passively.
Right.
So,
Which is kind of like weak tight, right? Weak tight.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that actually is the definition of Ali
Yeah.
is weak tight. You know, and sometimes some players that normally are aggressive or, tight aggressive can become weak tight when they play above their normal limits. But Ali, this is the limit he plays forever.
6-way action here, limped around. 10, 8, 5, $60 pot here.
Yeah, a couple players have 8s. Nobody has a 10, though.
Well, St. John's going to bet here with King 8. He looks to have the best hand.
And Ali, I guarantee you Ali's not going to call here with Jack 8. No way. And it's not a bad layout, but he would never make a move here.
Now, Allen has got a gut shot here to the 9. Right?
It's actually open-ended. 4
Open.
will give him a straight as well.
Yep.
And there it
Turns
is.
a 4, but Peter's got 2 pair now, and he checks it.
Oh, this
Peter
is-
might get into a world of trouble here.
Yeah, Peter's only got $300 and
And he gets checked over to Allen.
I'm not a genius, but I'm going to bet that Peter's money is going to end up in Allen's stack.
And Allen's going to bet 100.
And yeah, Peter's going to move all in.
There it is. It's only maybe $40 more.
And St. John's going to lay down. And Allen's going to take the pot because Peter is, well, not drawing dead, actually. Any 4 or 5 will do it for him.
Allen calls. Yep. Peter's going to need a 4 or 5 to fill up here. And the river is a 7, and that's not going to do it.
No.
Allen is going to take it down. And there it is.
And that's sometimes you've got to look at the board when you've got like 4 or 5 bottom pair. You've got to try to figure out, well, if I hit my second pair, does that complete any draws? You've got to start thinking of, put your opponents on hands. What might my opponent have?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hit something, and then we always talk about that, you have the reverse implied odds.
Right.
Well, if you hit your hand, what are you going to lose? And we say goodbye to Peter, or is Peter still there? He's gotten up for a second. So, see if we get another player, or if he's going to come back with more cash.
Well, the button's going to move over to Ali here. Seat 7.
King 8. Off.
Peter is gone. So I think Mo might come back to the table.
A little shot of Peter there. Get him. Don't stick that camera in my face. Stick that camera where the sun don't shine.
And Juan raised it here to 60. Like you said, he's mixing it up a little bit late position. He's got 8-10 offsuit. St. John's going to call it with a 2-gap suited connector. And Allen has got deuce 4 of hearts. He's probably going to call. And looks like C4's in there, but we
Yeah,
can't see his
on here.
cards.
On here's in there as well.
The price is not right for my hand, but
So again, seat 4 needs to show us his hand.
pot odds made it right.
King 10-4 here. A couple clubs. St. John's got a club draw. Again, we don't know what seat 4 has, but he's checked from up front. Well, seat 4's got Queen Jack, so he's open-ended.
Wow, okay, so we get some big hands here.
And Juan bet 120 with a pair of 10s. St. John check called with the flush draw. Let's see what Honor does.
And Allen's got bottom pair.
Yeah, but Allen can't overcall here, can he? It was a $120, bet here.
Actually, look at Allen. He's tormented by it. He doesn't know what to do.
And Dave, I want to say the pot is actually $600. 120 to call.
It's funny, and I'm making fun of Allen, but, and he's going to call.
Well, if he hits 2 pair of trips, they're actually good.
Yeah, but it's got to be 2 pair that's not a club.
Not a club, obviously.
I mean,
And the pot is now 720. Here we go to the turn. The turn's in offsuit deuce.
oh, that's disgusting.
Oh,
That
wow.
makes me sick. And he checks it. How do you check it? You actually hit the hand that you're trying to hit, and you check it? This guy's not going to bet.
Well, let's see.
And now you're going to give everybody a free draw. Watch, look at this. See,
Look
now
at
everybody's
that,
got
yep.
a free draw.
And here we go to the river, and the river is a king, and Allen gets counterfeited.
Yeah.
And now Juan has the best hand.
And you know what? If Allen
Oh
bets,
my God!
if Allen bets $300 there or $250, he's gonna get one out of the hand, and he's gonna take it down because neither one of the other players had a pair.
Yeah, I mean that is just. I mean, Allen's a nice guy, Dave, but like you said, just mistake begets mistake. Makes 2 pair on the turn, then doesn't bet it, gives everyone a free draw, and then gets killed at the end.
In all honesty,
And Juan wins it with 8-10 off suit.
and that was about a $600 pot.
$720 when Allen called. Yeah.
Allen is one of my favorite guys. Okay, like I said, he's doing my home theater system. Okay,
Yeah.
putting in my surround sound. I'm
Right.
a big fan of him, but I'm also honest with him. And that might have been the worst played hand I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
I mean, that was just so badly played by Allen. I don't know what he was thinking. And I love the guy.
Was it worse than what you played on Tuesday, Dave? The way you played on
It
Tuesday?
was. It definitely was worse because at least on Tuesday, and like I said, I apologize to our viewers who actually turned it on excited to see me play. But at least on Tuesday, I knew I was playing like a horse's ass. You know what I mean? I was playing like a donkey. It was, I came out and said it. And it'll never happen again. I promise you that.
And Barry raised here with Allen raised with Ace King of Diamonds, and he took it down.
But Allen's not trying to donk it up there.
No.
Come on, how do you check that turn? I mean, to me, you know what? You got to hope the guy had a king, bet right into him, get those draws out there. You know what I mean? It's just too many draws out there.
And obviously, there were so many cards. I mean, if you count the amount of safe cards for Allen, I think it was less than half the deck.
Probably when you think about
because
it.
Because any club, any straight card, the guy had 2 pair with an 8 or a 10 trips, or pairing the board to counterfeit, right?
Yeah, I mean,
there was a ton out there. Wow.
When you think of each player probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 9 outs.
Yeah.
But if Allen bets the pot there on the turn, which is what he should do, if he bets $600 or $700, he takes the pot down right there, I think.
Unbelievable. 3-way action here, limped around. Juan's got an ace. And he's going to get cagey with it, Dave. He checks it in position. Turn is a jack. It's a 3rd spade, and now he's going to bet. And it looks like he is going to take it down.
I mean, think of it. People getting cagey with like ace-3 or ace-9.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's a monster or something.
Any club, there's 9 clubs, right? And then you've got 6 offsuit straight cards with the queen-jack.
That's 15.
That's 15. You've got 3 more 8s. Or am I counting the 8s with the straight? No, I'm not counting the 8 with the straight, the queen-jack. 3 more 8s and 2 more 10s.
Yeah.
So 20.
Plus kings.
Plus pairing 3 more kings.
Yeah. I mean, you got like 20, pretty much
half the deck. It's going to hurt you there on the river, right?
Yeah, we got a really good player, actually. I'm a big fan of this guy's play coming into seat 8. I hope he doesn't disappoint me. His name is Francois.
Right.
He deals over on the Asian side here. He's an up-and-coming cash player. I really like his play. Let's see. I'm curious to see how he plays on Live at the Bike.
Well, hey, does he play in the 500? Because usually he plays in the 3 to 5.
Well, he takes a couple of shots. It's almost like me taking a shot at 5,000. He's taking a shot at 500.
5-way action here.
He's one of those guys. Oh, look, a set of deuces for Kevin.
Yeah, seat 3. He's limped around again. Kevin's going to bet right into it. He's going to bet 50.
Good for him. I don't think anybody's going to call this.
No, it doesn't look like
That's fine. You're not necessarily going to win a big pot every time. Francois kills the $200 game, and he does pretty well in the $300 to $500 game.
Yeah.
So I figured he's taking his, he's won for the last couple of months. He's going to take a shot at this game.
There he is. We get an email here from Barry Woods about Hollywood Russ, Dave. He says when he last talked to Russ, he was moving to Bakersfield temporarily because he's a real estate. He sells residential real estate for developers. So he moves around where the job is.
Oh, I see. He moves around and stays on site.
So maybe he had a job in L.A.
Oh, how sad. He's got to be in Bakersfield. Nothing personal, but I had a couple of buddies that used to live in Bakersfield. I think they played hockey in Bakersfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a minor league hockey team in Bakersfield.
Oh, God. Boy,
yeah.
That must be the dregs of trying to make it as a pro hockey player, huh?
Yeah, you get paid like $300 a week.
Right.
Live in Bakersfield. Hope we're not alienating our Bakersfield fans.
4-way action here. Limped around once again. 10-7-10. I mean, Dave, would there ever be a reason to limp in here on this table with a big pocket pair? St. John's going to bet 35 here with pocket 3s.
I gotta be honest, if you're in position with any decent hand, you'd want to raise. You know?
And he's going to take it down.
Even ace kicker is good.
Appreciate the long email from Jive Dats, and I actually have not been able to read the entire thing, so. But I will definitely read it, and I really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the private messages I got sent to Friar Tuck. And I want to let you know, be assured that I will continue to take shots. I will continue to put myself on the line, and I promise to play better. So, promise. But I'm actually excited because I've changed my schedule now, and I'm going to be here on Tuesdays. So hopefully I can be a regular on that game.
Well, we're heads up here. Between the blinds, it looks like. They done chop. I mean, if Allen's in the small blind with that hand...
And he didn't raise?
Guess not. Well, now he's picked up a queen. So I guess Juan doesn't chop.
30.
And now Allen's going to bet 30. I mean, you're heads up there. I mean, that's kind of some interesting blind play that we don't normally see here on the show because a lot of people will chop, but ace queen.
One thing affecting Allen's play, and it might have affected it, is the fact that Allen's been playing a lot of freeze outs. You know, sort of like sit and goes, but we do them here at the Bicycle Casino.
Right.
And he's been playing a lot of them. He plays them every single time they're available. He'll play a freeze out. And that strategy is different than playing in a cash game. And it might have affected his play a little bit. But when the show's over, I'm going to go out there and rip him on that deuce 4. I don't know what he was thinking.
I mean, there aren't many hands when you actually half the deck can hurt you with one card to come, Dave.
I mean, ace-king here for Juan. He's going to raise it up.
He's going to make it 35. Allen limped in here on the button with Jack-9 of hearts. And Ali's going to call, and that has to, you know, make you wonder what he has, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes Ali will call pre-flop, a small raise, $35.
Yeah.
He's already in there for 10, so it's only 25 more to him.
Well, Allen's got top pair here.
Yeah, I don't think Juan bet enough.
And Juan just checks it, and Allen's going to bet.
Yeah, if Juan bets 60, he wins the pot right there.
Fold.
Yeah, Allen's going to take this down. Nice bet by Allen. I know it seems like a no-brainer, but for Allen, you never know. And obviously, it's easier for us in the booth, but hey, I mean, watching Allen's play tonight, I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, he definitely, I mean, someone here on 2+2, Dave, you know, put up a picture of the Beastie Boys in that Sabotage video. It really is a spitting image.
Oh, it's my favorite. Jack 10 suited. Oh,
Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com, questions, comments, suggestions. Or follow a live thread that started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. Official Live at the Bike thread. And the button has moved over here to Juan.
I love the email here from Barry Woods. I've got to read it because it's hysterical.
Well, Allen's got pocket kings now, Dave. He's
Okay.
going to raise. He's going to make it 100. 120, Dave. Are we playing 5-10 blinds?
Just say yes, please.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm in the twilight zone here sometimes, you know?
I don't mind a raise to like 80,
Yeah.
85 even 100 sometimes if you get 3 or 4 limpers.
I want you to raise
Ah, well, if he wants to take it down, he takes it down. Okay, we were referencing Barry Woods' life, and he goes, no, I don't have a life here. I'm babysitting my under-the-weather dog while my daughter is out carousing, and my wife is having dinner with a friend. What kind of friend is that? It's either you two clowns or the 50 cutest child stars on E. And he says here, really
A bleeping toss-up, believe me.
yeah.
And the word friend is not in quotation marks, like Tucker was trying to imply.
Hey, I don't know. White daughter's out carousing and
My
wife
is having dinner with a friend, quote unquote.
Yeah. So that's how they do it over in the Woods family, huh? You know, I wouldn't say that if his wife was watching or his daughter was watching.
Right.
But since they're out, obviously, I have no problem offending him.
Pot is limped around here, and Francois is going to raise it to 60 out of the blind with ace-king suited. St. John's going to call with 10-5 of clubs. Tony, again, limped in with pocket 9s. He calls, and Juan's in there with pocket 7s. About a $250 pot going 4 ways.
See, 10-5 of clubs, what do you really
yeah,
want to
I
hit,
don't-
St. John?
It's making you look bad, Dave. Well,
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Francois got the king.
Well, he's playing pretty solid. I mean, he laid down a set of queens earlier.
And he's going to bet the pot. He's going to bet 225.
Yeah, nice bet by Francois. Not gun shy.
And again, there aren't a lot of people that are capable of making that size bet on the flop, say if they raise out of the line with ace queen or ace jack.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to not be gun shy, right? And it looks like Francois really didn't buy in for that much.
No, it looks like he bought him for about $1,000.
Yeah.
Now, I've actually played with Francois. I played three-handed and four-handed with him into the wee hours of the morning one night. Another really class guy. Yeah, I thought he was a good player, really a good player. To be honest with you, I wasn't in the game because of him. There was another player in there that was action. If that guy had gotten up, there's no way I would have
Last
played.
time I played with Commerce, I have ace, king of heart,
You will definitely pay me off.
and the guy slow played aces, and the flop comes 8. All my money.
What a phenomenal story. Why don't we turn the table mic up?
I mean, it wasn't a lot.
Allen's raised here to 40. Ace jack of hearts.
Now, this is the problem with I don't mind raising to 120. The problem is he raises to 120 with kings and raises it to 40 with ace jack.
And Honor's going to make a call out of position with king 3 of spades.
If you're an astute player,
Yeah.
or you're an archive watcher, can't you figure out,
And look at this. Honor's flop top 2 pair. And he's going to check.
this is the time to bet into it. You got to hope that Allen has ace king.
And Allen just checks right behind him, turns a 9. And Honor checks again. And Allen's going to bet 40 here, Dave.
40 into about a $90 pot.
Yeah. I mean, well,
Out of position, it's tough to really get tricky with this hand. And Allen can't take any heat, obviously. He's got nothing. No
he
draw,
probably
no pair.
should go check, raise, fold, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to call and then he's going to bet the river? Or is he going to check the river and do some bluff again?
Yeah, but there's no way Allen's going to bet the river. We know him. He just calls, Dave. River's a queen.
It would have been really
Honor
interesting.
checks.
Imagine Allen backed into Jack 10 there.
Yeah.
Poetic justice.
And look at this. And Allen checks right behind it. I mean, again, we get so frustrated, but maybe it's obviously we have the luxury, not necessarily of seeing the hand, Dave, but knowing the player is apparently a lot better than some of these other guys. I mean, give me a break.
Right,
King
yeah.
3 in there.
Well, that's the thing. We've got to give credit. First of all, Onhair probably doesn't know Allen nearly
Right.
as well as we know him. Obviously, we're privy to the hands. He's not. A hand like that with King 3, when you call a raise and you get him heads up, I almost want to bet right into him and hope that he has King Queen or Ace King.
Right.
And see if he raises back at me. There was a hand last night. I remember I flopped a set of 10s. And I
Yeah,
bet.
you bet right into it.
Well, I bet right into it, actually. It was somewhat of a scary board, and I was kind of hoping that Simon had a queen. The board was, I think, Queen 10-9.
Yeah.
And I had a set of 10s. And I was hoping Simon had ace queen or king queen or something like that. Because I was pretty sure he would raise me if he did.
Yeah, he called me, whatever I bet. If I bet 500, he calls me.
Button is over there on Kenny Wynn in seat 9. And we've
He
got
called me. If I bet 500,
5-way action here, Dave. Limped around.
I have king, queen.
$50 pot.
Well, 2 pair for Onhair again.
Yeah. This time it is top and bottom, and he checks it. Now, it's interesting because he bet right into the set before, remember. Turns a queen, gets more scary for Honor.
If a deuce were to come or a jack were to come, he'd be in trouble.
Bet 60?
And I don't think anybody can call this. Nobody's got diamonds. Juan's got a gut
60.
shot wheel draw, but
How are you, Tony?
unless is Juan thinking of making a move here?
What is Allen doing?
Oh, I just dismissed Allen. Is he still in there?
He's calling here. He's got a pair and a gut shot. 10-5.
He needs a jack or a 5 to win this hand.
Well, actually, a 5 wouldn't do it.
Oh, right. I'm
And
sorry.
the river here is a 10, and he's made 2 pair. But now, anyone with a jack would have a straight, and this is probably just going to go check.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I actually assumed the 5 was
Yeah.
trips. I forgot on here I had top and bottom.
Flop, a lot of time.
Why are you slow playing?
And Honor, again, the hands that Honor has shown down, well, he's shown down the set of 5s. He actually bet right into that hand. But these 2 pair, which obviously 2 pair, especially if it's not top 2 pair, obviously more vulnerable than top set,
Yeah. Without a doubt.
right? Things never cease to amaze me on the show sometimes. Button has moved over here to Sinjin in seat 1. And we got 2 king-queen offsuits here, seat 6 and seat 7. One's going to limp in. Ali will probably just limp in as well here. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. King Queen in late position is not a raising hand to him. To me, though, the whole thing is if you're not going to raise with king, queen offsuit in late position, you don't really want to see multi-way action there. You know, flop comes out, you know, king 4-5. How do you know where you're at?
10-3-5 here with a couple of diamonds. And I want to say that Prop Tony has the best hand here with 4-5. Now
They all checked it around, though.
And Honor checks the ace here on seat 4, and it gets checked around again. And the river is a 7.
Yeah, Onhair's going to win this one again.
Well, now he's going to bet.
Now he's going to throw a little bet in there, and you know maybe somebody would call him if they had a 7.
Well,
Is Tony going to call him late position with a 5? Nah.
Well, he's up front. Yeah, I mean, you know. Well, I mean, anytime this guy bets, do you call after he checked the flop and the turn? You put him on, you know, a major hand.
Yeah, well, you just
right?
you don't put him on a bluff. You wonder if he's capable of bluffing there.
Right.
A highlight there, thebike.com. Check it out. Obviously, you can go directly to the live at thebike.com.
And again, if you want to sign up for the archives, you can click on the Archives On-Demand banner in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And that gets you access to all of the saved material, David. It allows you to scroll through every show that we've done. You can stop it, start it, pause it.
I tell you, what an investment.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually, right after playing last night, I was watching it today, eating lunch, you know, for $14.95. I mean, there's no book in the world that is better than watching yourself play and watching your opponents play.
What'd you think about the commentary, those two chumps?
They were okay.
Limped around.
The blonde's pretty hot.
If she could just get in the picture.
Yeah.
When we keep flipping over to her.
Wow. King out there. Now, this is the kind of board where if you've got a pair, you definitely should bet it.
Well, Ali is going to bet here with pocket 6s.
Wow. Anytime Ali actually bets, I'm running.
And
St.
John has ace high.
Yeah. But he might not be privy to the fact that the way Ali plays, like we are.
And look at this. Honor's going to raise. He's going to raise here with ace jack, and I wonder what Ali is going to do here.
You know what? Ali might throw this away. Because remember, he can't beat any bigger pocket pair. He can't beat 7s, can't beat 8s.
No, I think he's going to make the call. I just wonder how Honor's going to... He only raised the minimum, Dave.
Now,
he
this is the
actually
thing.
check-raised,
Right,
and he's out of position.
If he comes out big here... Oh, well, that doesn't really change
anything.
No.
Well, now he's going to check.
Well, that pretty much says if he's going to check, raise, and then check... If Onhair comes out and bets 150, though.
What's the point of check raising the minimum? I guess it's just another example of how Onhair just doesn't know Ali's play. But he's going to make the call here.
I got to be honest, I don't mind the check raise if you're going to follow through with it.
And the river's a 9, and this will probably just go check, right?
Onhair's got the bet here, and it doesn't.
No, check.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like you said, what's the purpose? Ali is not going to come out and bluff into that board. If he bets, you have to think he has a pair.
Which is fine. I don't mind a check raise if he follows through on the turn, though.
But I mean, check raising the minimum with the intention of then just checking on the turn just means that he doesn't know Ali that well, because Ali's not going to leave the hand for the minimum, and then if you're intending to check the turn, you pretty much reverse what you were trying to do there.
If you want to play it like you either have a big pocket pair or you have a king in your hand, like you have king garbage in your hand, you want to play it like that. The check raise the minimum's fine, but then you've got to follow through with it.
Well, I think that he was trying to check raise probably the least amount to get Ali off of the hand. Maybe he thought that, hey, this guy might just be stone cold bluffing, and we know that Ali doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of why it backfired, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
King Jack suited here on the button for Kevin. Going to raise it up to... Oh, it just limped. Wow. I believe that Juan is in the straddle spot. Ace 7-10 here. Actually, Juan is in the big blind. And Onhair is now going to come out and bet with the weak ace. And he's going to take it down.
So you take a small blind? Hey, you take blind. You take a small blind?
And Alan's going to come back here, I believe, and buy the button.
Big blind?
I think that's what they're talking about. We got about 20, 25 minutes left in the show. Again, join us tomorrow for 10-20 no limit hold'em unrestricted buy-in. And that game does get big, especially if we have the right lineup, Dave. Big blind is over there in Ali's hand. The button is on Honor. And Honor limps in on the blind. He's got queen 8, and Ali's got king 10. So here we go. Heads up. Honor's got top pair at 8-5-5. Ali checks, and this probably is going to go check fold.
5 is good, no?
He bets 35 here. And I think Honor's going to show him the queen 8. And he takes it down. Whoa.
Nice picture
Is that,
of
Joe Wynn?
Yeah.
Well, that just came right into the shot there. What is that in the background?
Yeah, it's our Christmas party.
Oh, I'm heading there. Actually, I was going to talk to you about that. I'm heading here right after the show, Dave.
Are you?
I believe there's free drink and free food. You know, anything like that, I'm there.
Hey, if it's free, it's for me.
Yeah.
You want a car?
Looks like we Joe Wynn in a winter land.
It looked like he was like, you know, the backdrop was like a luge track back there.
Joe Wynn's a big loser. From Vietnam.
You know, I heard that if you are a good lugist, you have to have a small nose.
Really?
Because your nose can really cut down on your aerodynamic, you know, ability to head down the hill.
Is that real?
That's what I heard.
Really? Okay.
You have to have a small nose to be a luger.
Do I have a small nose? What do you think?
Could
Could I be a loser? Hey, does Vietnam have a big losing team?
Perhaps it's like the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Queen 10-4 here. Couple of hearts. And Juan is going to bet here with a flush draw. And Ali check calls here. He's got an open-ended straight draw.
You know, with 2 hearts out there, he's only got really 6 outs, but
One white.
Well, Juan has the king of hearts in his hand. Well, the turn's a king and he's hit it. And Juan's hand gets bigger now because he's got top pair. Juan bets
Ali
100,
raises.
and Ali check raises.
and he goes,
Yeah.
throw it away. He goes, throw it away. See? He doesn't want him to call.
Well, yeah, but do you think if you hit a heart here, can you get a lot of money? Can Ali get away from the hand
Yes,
with the straight?
I think he can.
$100 bet by Juan. Ali check raises, makes it 200 total. And Juan calls.
Wow.
Interesting if another king came out. Well, it's an ace.
What made is that?
You are.
So let me just double check, make sure I have the nuts here.
You are.
Well, the ace is definitely a little bit of an action killer there for Juan. Not that Juan necessarily would have called the river, but...
I don't think Juan calls even if a king falls.
Well, I wanted to see if a king would have come, what Juan would have done.
Yeah, it would have been interesting.
I didn't know you
But I think that's what he did. He only raised him 100, and he's saying that, you priced me in. He goes, for 100, I had to call.
If I knew you have a price there,
Like one of them, Queen Jack. I would have made my straight too.
And the button moves over there to Ali in seat 7.
Get a close-up there of Kenny. Kenny Wynn there. Oh, and his king of diamonds.
Let's see if we can see the other card.
No.
Oh, 3, king 3 offsuit. He's in the big blind.
Yeah. Kenny could be a loser. He's got a pretty small nose.
You don't play A6?
You don't play that card?
You don't
Ali's
play
gonna,
A6?
I mean, Alan's gonna limp in here in seat
No,
5.
Thursday? So I have.
Looks like
I have
Alan's got pocket
I
3s.
have ace. Should I play?
And we're gonna see a bunch of limpers here. Once again.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Just see a flop.
And once again, we have that problem here where Francois got the 4 of hearts and the 6 of spades. Tough for the eye to see.
Now we know nobody has an ace.
Yeah, this new deck of cards that we've got, we're experimenting with here.
Yeah.
Very difficult to see the difference between the hearts and spades.
Yep.
You really want that pot?
One of them. There's one of them.
Ali is going to bet 200. He's got top and bottom here.
Yeah, well, let's see. It's no surprise there. Ali's actually betting, showing strength. He's got something.
I got a pair also, but I'm gonna mark it.
Look at. Oh, I got a pair also. Like it was a tough muck or something with pocket 3s.
You bet 200 so he can steal it.
Unbelievable.
He saw your ace. He knows there's only one more
Can you
ace out.
please? Can you please not expose the
He
card no
knows
more?
aces are gone.
One more
That's
time
why
you
he's
expose your
betting.
card, I'm gonna kind of have to call the
You
owner
don't
of
show
the
your
casino.
ace, he's not gonna bet. Why he's gonna
Francois
bet?
obviously playing around here.
Right. Although the owner of the casino does frequent in here a lot, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every day.
Really nice guy.
He's a
actually.
regular 20 Hold'em player.
Yeah. Well, everybody smiles when they see him enter a game, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Great guy. Great to see him in a game.
On the turn and make a set.
Seat 3 here has got ace 9 of diamonds. Kevin's going to limp in here. Honor limps.
But let's
in.
be
This
serious.
one- Look at everybody just limping.
Right. Let's be serious. Though. When he loses $500 or $400 in a 2040 game, who's really laughing? You know?
Well, Francois, he's got ace 7 offsuit. He's going to raise it to 160, Dave. I mean, everyone limped in here. There's a lot of dead money.
Yeah, but see, that's an awfully big raise. The problem with the raise is it's probably going to work and he's probably going to take it down. But he's risking 160 to win 70,
Yeah.
right? Now, yeah, he has position on everybody.
No, I don't have small pair. You're a big pair?
And Alan's thinking about it with ace 5. I mean, how can you even think about it with ace 5? I mean, it's a play that's going to work more often than not, obviously, but...
Well, if you get that, that player that's pulled the limp, with the pocket pair, what are you going to do? Obviously, Francois, you can't take any heat if it gets re-raised.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I will say about Francois in this case is the game has pretty much been limping around. Anybody paying attention wouldn't limp in for the limp re-raise in this game, so...
He shows the ace.
And he steals that. That's $70 earned.
Yeah. But like you said, you're sometimes risking a lot.
Keep on calling him more. I just, you know what, one more time.
It's the one thing I always watch Mo do once in a while, and I just don't like that part of the game. I mean, to me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, Mo, we haven't seen Mo do that since he got caught by Jesus a couple of times, maybe a couple months back on Friday.
Well, it's no fun throwing $160 away.
Well, sometimes Mo bets blind, and I never really understand that move.
Yeah.
Betting blind from up front. And I'm not a huge fan.
Please call me more every
But you don't like the checking blind or the betting blind.
Not really.
Once in a while, against an inexperienced player, betting blind can be a very strong play because they're scared that, they're not actually checking because they're weak. They're checking because they don't know
Look
Who
at
knows?
this. Ali is limping in with ace-king suited here. One off of a cutoff.
I don't understand that play. I mean,
I didn't make that agreement.
And he's got a flush draw with overcards.
yeah, but
10,
Alan's
9,
got
7.
the trip 9. Oh, I'm sorry. 1-9. I thought it was trip 9s out there.
Well, look at this. Seat 3 here. Tony in seat 2 is flopped a straight, and he's going to bet 100 right into the straight. Right
Wow.
away. He flopped it.
And Ollie's hand is strong enough. He doesn't know, obviously, that Tony has a straight. His hand is strong enough to re-raise with overcards in the spade draw, isn't it?
He's going to fold.
No.
Wow. I mean, that is so tight.
Well, you know what? He says, I never chase Tony.
Uh,
Well, and there is some value to that. You got to go, well, if I hit my spade, am I going to make any money off Tony?
Wow.
Really?
You lay down there?
No, I had ace 9. I had even a pair.
Give me that hand.
Go all in.
And look at the respect Tony gets. Alan laid down second pair, which is a huge laydown for him.
right.
And then Ollie lays down, obviously, the nut flush draw
Right.
with ace-king spades.
Mo, Tony,
Give me that hand.
you want me to do the same thing? If I have ace-king spade market?
I'm stuck. You can play your
The button moves over here to seat 1.
reason because if everybody gets out
He wants call.
check, I don't want to catch my flush and
He
check.
wants call.
You know what I'm saying, Tony? I don't catch my flush and check.
I see this post from Baron Vanger Toth. He's questioning whether I actually pay the $14.95 a month for the archives.
Believe me, we don't get any deals here.
No freebies.
No.
You put 5 extra, you put 5 extra. Hold on.
Limped around here.
Our boss, hard ass.
Yes.
He put 5 extra.
Jack 3-8 here.
Kevin with top pair here. He's not going to check. He's not going to bet that, though. St. John's going to bet second pair, though.
And the button is going to bet.
See if Kevin check raises him. No, I think he's going to muck it. Wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to get involved with Jack 5.
You respect the button bet there? Okay. Hey, sometimes you want to pick your spots, you know?
You don't necessarily want to go to war out of position there.
With Jack 5. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes...
one of the things that I actually, a lot of experience that I've gained from limit hold'em as well. Sometimes you complete, say in a 2040 game, you complete the 2 chips, in the small blind, or you get a free ride in the big blind, and you've got something like queen deuce or jack deuce or king deuce, you know, and you hit top pair. We've got pocket jacks here and pocket aces. I'll get to that comment here in a second.
Yeah.
We got a raise here by Juan. He's going to make it 60 with jacks.
Now, the only thing good is that Juan knows Ollie, and Ollie is going to re-raise with aces.
Did he, though? Did he re-raise there in seat 7?
Yeah,
it looks
he
like
announced it here.
So-
And, wow, I made it.
Made it
Juan had
100
made it
more.
60, and Ollie made it 160, and
Juan
he called.
I mean, is he almost trying to, you know, hit a set here?
Yeah, I don't like the call at all by Juan here. Out of position with jacks.
Well, we've seen Ali limp in with ace king, and remember, Ali showed it to Juan that he mocked
Exactly.
ace king. He mocked ace king of spades to Tony's bet, which means he limped in. What hand could he re-raise there?
You know he definitely has aces, kings, or queens. I mean, there's no way he's got lower than jacks. Come on.
Absolutely not.
Not a chance in hell.
What I was saying about that limit hold'em comment, sometimes I got myself into trouble, and it's one of the things I learned with more experience, that if you hit top pair with a garbage kicker in a multi-way pot in limit hold'em, say more than 4 or 5 people, and you know, it's been limped around, it really isn't necessarily a strong hand, Dave.
No, not at all.
You know, it's just, you almost want to check it from up front and just see what's going on. Maybe see if you can throw maybe a little check raise in there.
Well, sometimes,
to
yeah,
position better.
if somebody, an aggressive player on the button bets, maybe you
Right.
check raise it.
Right.
But if you bet and you get called in 4 spots,
Wow,
well,
it's
then where are you?
Yeah.
You know, and in limit hold'em, a lot of people just take one off for no reason.
Right.
So, puts you in a tough spot.
Make it 45.
And Kenny Wynn's going to raise here. He's got king, queen offsuit. He's going to make it 45 to go.
And I got to tell you, the rest of the table is pretty passive, but Kenny is still playing his game. He's raising when he likes his hand. He's raising in position.
Well, he's going to get called, though, in 4 different spots.
5 players.
And we got 5-way action here. Pot is 225. Kenny Wynn, the pre-flop raiser. 5, 7, 10, couple clubs. Alan's got a flush draw.
Juan's got the second pair with a pair of sevens.
I mean, is Kenny going to bet at this flop? It's not a great flop. He is.
125.
He's going to bet
Give it a shot.
125.
Well, you know what? If he gets everybody else, if he gets Juan out and Alan calls and Alan misses, he's going to take the pot down.
Yeah, here's the problem with Alan's game here, Dave. Say the turn comes blank, Kenny checks, Alan checks, and it goes check, check, and Alan never bets at it,
Right.
right? I mean,
Well-
we could see this happen right here.
Kenny's already beat Alan one time with ace high.
Right.
Is he going to win this one with king high?
Well, turns an 8. Let's see what happens.
Well, Alan is now open-ended with the flush draw. Come on, Alan. Step it up, buddy.
Well, Kenny's going to bet again.
Wow. This is the only problem sometimes betting into a board like this. You got to wonder, does the guy have clubs or does he have a 10?
He's going to bet 225 this time. 220, and Alan, he's just going to call here. And it looks like he doesn't like it. I want to see what happens on the river if everybody misses.
Well, this is tough for Kenny, you know. I mean, is Alan calling me with a flush draw or is he calling me with a 10?
And the river's an 8. Everyone misses.
Exactly. And what is Kenny going to do?
Look at this. It goes check, check, I think.
No, Kenny's last
excuse me.
act.
I thought that Kenny was first to act. Well, he's going to bet at it here again.
But Alan checked at him. And Kenny's going to bet it looks like another $200. See if he can try to...
Well, remember, sometimes you can, back into an accidental pair with a flush draw, or maybe Alan has ace high here.
Right, no, without a doubt. If he has an ace-high flush draw, you just got him off it. Now, it turns out this time Alan actually had 6-high flush draw.
Right.
But I think Kenny had to bet that if he thinks the guy has a flush draw. Because obviously he's not going to back into it because that would have been back into trip eights.
Right.
But he definitely could have had ace, ace deuce of clubs.
I mean, Alan's hand was so big there on the turn, obviously, to move. I mean, his hand was good, make a move on the flop.
Well, let's be honest. If Alan doesn't make the move on the flop, and then he turns the straight draw as well, and Alan fires $200 into Kenny, Kenny's thrown his hand away, and Alan wins it. We saw it last night with me. We see it here again. Passive poker is not winning poker. You got to play aggressive.
We got an email here from Barry Woods. Barry, I'm not going to read it. You said it, not me. And that's just an individual message to Barry.
40 is the raise.
Button is over here in seat 4.
3-player.
3-way action here.
I've got to read this. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
no,
hysterical.
cool. You can read it.
Okay, I'll read it.
866 here. I can't read it. Pocket fives looks like it's good. And it gets checked around here. The turn is a 7, and now Kenny's open-ended.
Yeah, and but St. John, if the 9 were to come, St. John would have a higher straight. And St. John's going to bet.
100.
He's going to bet 100.
And you wonder if anybody can really call here. Now, Onhair's got nothing here.
Well,
but
remember,
sometimes-
Onhair checked, he raced pre-flop.
But we
And
saw Onhair call off $100 before with ace-jack.
He called.
Yeah, I mean, Onhair has trouble getting away from these big hands. Even when he misses the flop, it's still ace-queen, you know?
I mean, he didn't bet the flop, but his hand is good right now, though.
Yeah.
And the river here is a 5.
Wow, and that would have been a set. That would have been a full house for
Kenny
for
Wynn.
Kenny Wynn there. And he checks it.
Oh, St. John just gives up.
And Onhair's going to win this with ace-high.
Well, Onhair still might think he needs to bet. Nope, he's going to check it down. An ace-high is good. Wow.
Oh, that makes you sick there. You wonder if St. John had bet big if Onhair's going to call. So this email from Barry Woods he talks about luge, and I think he's referring to you. I think he's accusing you of being racist. He says, so what you're saying is that Tuck and I, Mrs. Barry Woods, as resident Jews, cannot be losers?
I didn't say that.
Hey,
I mean, if you...
if the shoe fits, man, come on.
You just said, can I be a loser? I said nothing.
You got to wonder, how's the Israeli luge team going, huh? Find out if there's any
We got a raise here by C2.
truth to that rumor you said about the nose.
Button's going to move over here to seat 6. Got time for a few more hands
Yeah.
tonight.
Once again, you can catch us every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 Pacific time. If the time's not good for you, you can watch it. We're on a continual loop throughout the day until the following day, or you can check it out on the archives. Tomorrow night's show will be 10:20, No Limit Hold'em.
Right, that's an unrestricted buy-in game.
Yeah, usually a big game. And that game will start at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, we play those that game with the brown chips. They have $10
Raise it like
chips.
60.
And
Yeah, Juan's going to raise it up.
yeah, he's got pocket 5s. He's going to make it 60 to go. He's on the button.
Why not take advantage? He's got position. Nice bet by him.
St. John's going to call with a suited connector. Tony's got pocket 4s.
This is one of the few times where people say it's a race and the 5s are ahead. But this is the time where 9-10 is actually a favorite over 5s if it was head up.
That's right. 9-10 suited. Wow, and Tony folds. Because doesn't Juan have a lot of money there?
He
Isn't that what
does.
you're looking for?
I got to tell you, for $50, why not?
Yeah, I just don't get it. And here we go to the flop.
And there's a 4. Look at that.
He flops a set of 4s, 3, 4, 7. And Juan's going to bet here.
I mean, it's one thing if the guy bets 100. I'm not going to take one off there.
100.
I wonder how Tony. I mean, Tony plays it so straightforward. He probably would have fired in. And look at that. The turn card's a 5.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Tony plays it so straightforward. He probably would have bet right into the flop.
And everybody folded.
And you know what? If you're sitting there with pocket 5s, you probably fold.
Yeah,
against
he
Tony.
might.
it's
He might
just-
against Tony. Although he did have a gut shot straight draw. You never know.
Yeah.
Then he hits his set. Who knows what happens there? Now, it was an interesting hand last night. Obviously, I had pocket 6s one time where there was a raise from Avo. And then Vic Park actually re-raised him.
Right.
And I would have called the original $250 raise from Avo, but when it was raised up to $650, I then obviously could not call with 6s. Based on my stack and based on their stacks.
90 more.
Seat 9 is going to raise here.
This game, No Limit Hold'em is all about implied odds.
So, look at this. He's got pocket kings, Kenny Wynn. We don't have it up here yet. He made it 90, and St. John called over there in seat 1 with 7-9 off. So we got
Wow.
pocket 10s over there for Kevin. He calls. $90 pre-flop.
Is Allen going to call here with ace-9 rag? I mean, that's just a garbage hand. You got to think one of these guys is a bigger ace than me, don't they? Yeah, this is... I would rather call with like 6-9 of diamonds, to be honest with you, than ace-9 here. I mean, this is...
Well, and now Juan, again, he's pretty deep. He's on the button.
Yeah, but 6-9 double gapper, I'm not a big fan of that hand.
A $90 raise. And again, sometimes we wonder, why do these guys raise so big sometimes? Look at the value in raising here.
Yeah, why not?
So play it.
I mean, ace 9-hand. I mean, Allen's, if an ace falls, Allen's actually good, but how does he know it? I mean, with 3 callers there?
$360 pot. Here we go. Jack 10-3, and Kevin's got a set of 10s.
Yep.
Kenny's got the overpair, and I wonder how much Kenny has over there in seat 3, how much money he's got.
We'll get a word of it right away.
Kenny Wynn's going to bet 200 here. And St. John announces that he has a gut shot, and he's going to put all his money in. No, seat 3 here. There's his chip stack, Dave. That looks like it is about 1,200. He's gonna move all in. He's actually got about 1,500.
Yeah.
He's moved all in for 1,500 here. He has moved all in.
And Allen folds quickly, and Kenny is put to the test here.
Well, I mean, let's try to figure out the pot size here. I mean, we're talking about a $200 bet and a call by St. John. That makes it about 730. He moves all in. Pot's about 2,200, 1,500 to call.
Well, remember, it was a $100 bet pre-flop. It was called in 4 spots.
Pot was about 360 pre-flop. He
Right.
bets 200. St. John calls.
Okay, so 760 and then a 50,
Yeah.
right. So we're looking at 2,300, 1,500 to call.
Yeah.
And this is tough. Tough hand. Now, Kenny does not have the king of spades in his hand. If he had the king of spades, it would just make it a little bit easier. Because if a spade comes, he got the redraw. You know, you got to think, okay, what kind of hand could Kevin have here? Kevin's a pretty straightforward player.
Yeah.
Would he make this move with, like, say, you know, Queen 9 spades? And that's a pretty big draw,
How about
obviously.
Queen Jack spades?
Queen Jack spades, something
Yeah.
like that, exactly. I mean, let's be honest, Ace Jack spades.
I don't know if you get involved here. I mean, it's funny because we've seen the best players at these games still not be able to get out of overpairs when somebody shows extreme strength.
Yeah,
And this just screams like, okay, if you've got Queen Jack spades, Ace Jack of spades, fine. I'll let it go this time because it might even that much of a favorite with 2 cards to come.
Well, you got to look at it and go, okay, this guy's either got a set,
Yeah.
he's either got a set, he's got 2 pair, or he's got a huge draw.
Right.
It's tough sometimes, you know? I mean, hey.
I don't know if I'd command another 1,500 here, Dave.
Right,
It's
no.
just, I mean, I know it's easy for us to say, but
Yeah, in the end it is. You know, sometimes it's tough. You don't want to make that bad laydown that could have been a $5,000 pot.
and there he goes. He's going to lay it down there with pocket
That's a
kings.
great laydown by Kenny. That's a great laydown by Kenny.
Well, St. John's going to need to catch an 8 here. He's just pure gamble.
Yeah, well, I think he looked at the pot and he said, well, the pot's about 700. I'm going to gamble 200 and try to win this. And the pot now is about $1,000, right?
And this is going to be the last hand of the night. Well, here we go to the turn. Turn is a king. It would have given
Oh,
Kenny
wow.
Wynn a set of kings. And now St. John's double gutted. He can catch a queen or an 8. Well, the river's a jack. Wow.
That is phenomenal.
And that type of thing doesn't bother me, especially if I'm Kenny Wynn, because it's the right laydown. The only thing I say to Kevin is that if you're against a really tough player, do you actually raise less there? Say raise the minimum, or say make a pot size raise and try to get him into maybe re-raising with the
Well,
over.
the only problem there is if he does a pot size raise, the pot size is about $900.
Yeah.
And he's only got 15.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Thank you very much again for watching Live at the Bike.
Pretty exciting night, huh?
Yeah, pretty exciting night. Join us tomorrow night for our 10-20 no-limit game. It is a unrestricted buy-in game, and we use our brown chips. So for everyone here in the booth and for David Tuckman, I'm Bart Hansen. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.